victim who both knew each other.
The kids inside aren't related to the victim or the suspect. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A shooting in Calhoun involving federal agents is now being investigated by the FBI.
During an attempted traffic stop on Outlet Center Drive, the driver of the vehicle accelerated in an apparent attempt to intentionally strike the DEA agent. In response, the agent fired at the male and female occupants, striking both individuals. They are both receiving treatment for their injuries. The DEA agents were operating in coordination with Calhoun police, and now the FBI is overseeing the investigation with help from the GBI. They have not shared details about the circumstances leading to the incident, but did indicate there were no injuries to law enforcement. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
A judge has now set the trial date for the father of the Appalachia High School shooter for September 8th. Prosecutors say Colin Gray bought the gun that his 14-year-old son accused of using in the shooting last September. The judge ruled that pretrial publicity warrants a change of venue, but he has yet to rule on whether the trial will be moved or if a jury from outside Barrow County will be brought in. In Gwinnett County, they've established a new team to better serve victims of sensitive misdemeanor offenses.
The Gwinnett County Special Victims Unit will include an assistant solicitor general, investigators, victim advocates, and trial assistants. The unit allows the office to triage sensitive cases like sex crimes, stalking, and prostitution more efficiently. It's designed to address the unique challenges these cases present, especially those involving teens. The Gwinnett County Solicitor General says the unit enhances the office's legal response and reaffirms its commitment to compassionate and effective justice. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
All right, new here at noon, many Georgians say they're worried about the direction of the country after the first 100 days of President Trump's second term. A new Atlanta Journal-Constitution poll finds Mr. Trump's approval rating sits at 43%.
Shows Georgia voters are very deeply divided over Trump's first 100 days in office.
AJC political reporter Greg Bluestein says the poll finds 2/3 of Georgia voters say tariffs are having either a small or major effect on their household budget. Now, let's talk about your money and the economy. The economy shrank for the first time in 3 years. Rebecca Jarvis here at noon says the GDP decreasing at an annual rate of 0.3%.
The biggest culprit here for why the number is down in the first quarter of this year is imports. The United States companies here in the U.S. raced to import to stockpile ahead of the tariffs. And because they did that, it made a big impact, decreasing the amount of GDP.
And she says this means interest rates are likely to stay where they are for a while anyway. And it looks like more people are becoming interested in technical schools. Georgia's technical college system is seeing a 9% increase in enrollment so far this year. Commissioner Greg Dozier says the growth is in many fields, including nursing and cybersecurity. Last year, they graduated their largest class ever with more than 40,000 students. Let's take a look at the markets here in your lunch hour, see how your investments are working for you. We've been in the red pretty much all day. The Dow right now is down 215 at 40,312, so the Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ's down more than a full percent, and the S&P is not far behind. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
Right lane stall in between Clarkston and Tucker. It's 285 northbound, the outer loop before La Vista Road, exit 37. You're slowing back toward the Church Street area. Still trying to see what's jamming up this ride between Ackworth and Kennesaw. 75 southbound slows before Wade Green Road, getting down to Barrett Parkway, exit 269. And inside the perimeter, still seeing flashing lights mostly off to the right with this crash. 75 southbound, West Paces Ferry Road, exit 255 there in northwest Atlanta, but luckily no big need for an alternate. If you're traveling out of Lawrenceville through Gwinnett County, we had some construction 316 westbound right around Duluth Highway. Delays improved there. I think that construction has cleared. Alex Williams, 95 WSB.
Now Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Sunny skies today, warm and humid, high 83. An isolated pop-up shower can't be ruled out this evening. Sunset around 8:20. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s at that time. Cooling down to the mid-60s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy with a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 84. A better chance of rain on Friday. Partly cloudy with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, high 82. Then a cold front sweeping through on Saturday. It'll produce widespread rain showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, high 78. Drying out on Sunday with partly cloudy skies, high 77.
79 degrees right now in Midtown. We'll have more news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Here we go, friends. It's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your noon keyword is smile. SMILE, smile. Enter the keyword SMILE into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is SMILE, S-M-I-L-E. Don't forget, if you get a call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number, if you want to be on the program, 877-973-7425. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We've got to begin with the 100 days. First, don't forget to text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. Get the live stream, the show notes, the podcast. Follow us on YouTube. If you, I will, at the bottom of the hour, I'll give you the link, but I got a problem, and I got to apologize out of the gate. We're already sold out on the event at the Fox. I wasn't expecting that. We're going to open more seats. I'm going to uninvite friends and family to make more seats available. I was not expecting in a room of 600-700 seats to be sold out in 24 hours, but we are. So I will make some seats available. We're working on that right now. I will stay tuned so that you will get an opportunity to go. I will uninvite friends who I was going to invite to come to free up capacity for people, because it's for charity. We should sell as many seats as possible. So I'll do that. But let's begin with this. When Franklin Delano Roosevelt became president of the United States, the metric he chose to use for fixing the Great Depression was what could he accomplish in his first 100 days. It has ever since become an arbitrary measure for the presidency of what has a president done in the first 100 days. It's a garbage metric. There's no reason for the metric. It is more a media ploy, but everybody caters to it. The president himself has done a series of interviews about it. In fact, he sat down with Terry Moran on ABC News and jousted with Moran, including over tariffs.
So your answer to the concern about the tariffs is everything's going to be hunky-dory?
Everything's going to be just fine. It wouldn't have been if I didn't do this. I had a choice. I could leave it, have a nice, easy time, but I think ultimately you would have had an implosion. Our country had inflation that was worse than they've ever had it before. You don't mention that. Why don't you mention that? We had the worst inflation probably in the history of our country. People say 48 years. Probably in the history of our country, we had the worst inflation. And people were dying over the inflation. You know that. Now the grocery prices are coming down. The energy prices are coming down. Gasoline's coming down. It's all heading in the right direction.
Now, he's right. Egg prices are down. Gas is down. Gas, though, being down is actually kind of a warning sign for the economy. We'll get into the economic numbers later. But fact is, this president, in his 100 days, he hit the road, went to Michigan. He's doing interviews with the Atlantic. Yes, that Jeffrey Goldberg from the Atlantic on the Signal chat. Terry Moran, I believe I heard Meet the Press. He's doing interviews. He's doing a lot of interviews, way more than Joe Biden did. You know, for all of the belly aching about Donald Trump, he doesn't have to do the interviews. There's a dirty little secret in this administration. You talk to the conservative publications in Washington, D.C., they're all very frustrated because the Trump administration, Donald Trump himself, spends way more time with mainstream media publications. Yes, it's true. They've given new media outlets and conservative outlets space in the briefing room, but they give all their scoops to the New York Times and ABC News and the Wall Street Journal. All of the major mainstream publications benefit from Donald Trump because Donald Trump is old school and he favors those old school mainstream media publications. The Daily Caller, the Daily Wire, the Daily Signal, the Daily whatever on the right, the Washington Examiner, the Washington Times. The conservative outlets do not get the access to Donald Trump and senior officials that the non-conservative outlets do. It's true, whether you want to believe it or not. Behind the scenes, many conservative groups bellyache about it, but there's something to this in that those mainstream media publications are the largest publications. They have the widest reach across the aisles, And Trump likes them. He actually likes the New York Times. Maggie Haberman doesn't want to do the Trump beat, but the New York Times won't get her off of it because Trump likes to talk to her. She's got great access. I'm always baffled by the people. You know, you can tell the followers, not the leaders. And this is going to insult some of you, but and I don't mean to be insulting, but the number of people like Donald Trump would never talk to Maggie Haberman. Dude, you have no idea how much Donald Trump talks to Maggie Haberman and the other reporters at the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal, and how often he interacts with people at CNN. You have no earthly idea. Donald Trump is an old school American who believes the mainstream media is where you go, and he talks to all of them. And so you get all these scoops and behind the scenes stuff on senior administration officials say, well, I'm not going to believe that unless Donald Trump says it himself. It was probably Donald Trump who said it to the press outlet. You can listen, you can deny it all you want. You don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you the truth. And he's given extraordinary access to him, way more access than Joe Biden. What's so funny about it is they still hate his guts. They don't like him. They don't give him a fair hearing. And still, he treats them better than Joe Biden ever treated them. He gives them more access than Joe Biden ever gave them. And he's giving them a lot for his first 100 days, which is honestly a crap metric. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump still has 1,361 days left in office. And Donald Trump, if you talk to his administration, if you talk to him, if you talk to his advisors, they are specifically playing for 2 years, not 100 days. The 2-year mark is going to be far more relevant to Donald Trump than this metric of 100 days. Why? Because the Trump administration's team, the working assumption is the Democrats take back the House of Representatives in 2027, and anything they can get through Congress grinds to a halt. So they want to do their tax reform package. They want to do as much undoing of the Biden administration as they can legislatively. They've got immigration fixes they want to be able to work for. They're going to make a big play of reconciliation this year and next year to do 2 big, beautiful reconciliation bills, to do tax cuts and the like. And they got to get it all done before the Democrats take back. Yes, Donald Trump's got 3+ years in office, 1,361 days, but everything turns to impeachment as soon as the Democrats take back Congress. And the idea that you've got to rush and get as much stuff done, I mean, they're already complaining that he's doing too much. You got the Democrats out there saying, this is just too much. This is authoritarian. This is tyranny. We've had 100 days of fascism in the United States. And yet they're allowed to say it. If there was as much Nazism, fascism, authoritarianism, and totalitarianism as the Democrats claimed, there would be a lot of people in cement shoes at the bottom of the Potomac right now. It's amazing the number of people who have the luxury of mouthing off on MSNBC that Donald Trump is the second coming of Hitler, and they show up the next day to say it all over again. If Donald Trump were the second coming of Hitler, the people would be disappeared. He would Pinochet them, fly them out in helicopters off the coast, and drop them off. And yet they continue. The measure of Donald Trump's lack of totalitarianism is how many people on television talk about him being a fascist and come back the next day for more. But what has he done? Doge has not done as much as it thought it could do. Elon Musk is now beginning his exit. Now, he's got to leave by July 4th. That was always in the cards because of his designation as a special government employee. As I've mentioned plenty of times, he's got to be gone by July 4th. You're not allowed to serve, I think, more than 180 days as a special government employee in a given calendar year, so he's got to leave. But he's learning it's far more complex to deal with government than big business. A CEO of a company can largely snap his fingers and order things because he is a dictator by and large. A government employee is not. Even the president is not. We're seeing judges stymie him and slow him down. They can't stop him altogether, but they can slow him down. Congress has to be involved. It turns out the waste, fraud, and abuse that they found is sizable, but not nearly as much as they thought. They were expecting it to be $1 trillion to $2 trillion. It's maybe a couple $100 billion. They are definitely finding bill payment systems that were automated that shouldn't have been, that have been spitting money out, and they're looking to call that money back. The Republicans in Congress, you should note, last night killed a rescission package. That's right. Have you heard this one? Anybody pointed this out? House Republicans joined with Democrats and killed legislation that would have rescinded a lot of the stuff DOJ found. Chip Roy was raising a red flag about this last night. It was an I told you so moment. Several months ago, he made his Republican colleagues mad because when Elon Musk visited with them, Chip Roy says to him in front of a bunch of Republicans that your problem's going to be the men and women around me who say they love what you're doing but aren't going to vote to rescind anything you find. And sure enough, he was right. They didn't last night. So much for the DOJ cuts. The president's done extraordinary work on the border. The border is functionally closed at this point. In fact, Maggie Haberman, who the president talks to, was on CNN with Anderson Cooper about this.
What are his advisors, I guess, saying, or what are you hearing from people around him?
There are a number of things that Trump has done that his advisors feel incredibly good about. And when you talk to them in private conversations, the main thing that they all point to is the near total sealing of the southern border.
Right.
And that is not a small thing. It is something that he has been talking about for many years. It is something he finally did. It happened to some extent during COVID. It is now basically closed. And that was a promise during the campaign. There are crackdowns on diversity initiatives across the government. He has taken on colleges and universities that have been Republican targets for several years now over anti-Israel protests. And so on those metrics, they feel very good. But what he is doing on trade is clearly not going very well. No one can on the same day articulate what exactly the goal of this trade policy is, what they are looking for. You have the president saying that he has spoken to President Xi Jinping, which it seems to be a call that nobody else can attest to. They keep promising deals. You won't have actual deals. You will have frameworks for deals. And you are seeing consumer confidence dropping and confidence in the U.S. brand dropping. And
look, she's right on the tariff issue, and it doesn't appear that the president has had the conversations that he has said he had with Xi Jinping. But she's right on the border. Within 100 days, we've seen illegal immigration fall off as the top issue of Americans. Americans, it turns out, are no longer concerned about illegal immigration, and they don't have to be because Donald Trump is taking care of it. But the 100-day metric is a garbage metric. Donald Trump fixed the border day one. I mean, within 20 days of the president being president, the border was virtually closed. So why don't we do a 20-day metric instead of a 100-day metric? I just, listen, yesterday was actually the 100 days, and a lot of people in some radio stations like, well, why didn't you focus on this? Because it's a garbage metric. It's always been a garbage metric. It was a metric picked by Franklin Delano Roosevelt during the Great Depression that everybody has embraced ever since then, but it's always been a garbage metric. Donald Trump's going to be there 1,361 more days. He's looking at the next year and a half before Democrats take back Congress as his measure of what he can get done, and he can only get done so much immediately when federal judges who are progressives are stymieing him, but these cases continue to work up to the Supreme Court and generally are going in his favor. I would say the fact he's given more access, been more exposed, done more interviews, and done more things than Joe Biden in his first 100 days makes the first 100 days successful. I mean, again, the fact that he's willing to do these interviews with media outlets that Joe Biden couldn't speak to because he wasn't coherent is a big sign that Donald Trump is comfortable and confident. Yeah, there are problems with tariffs. There certainly are. We'll get into the economic news here that's not good, all of these sorts of things. But by and large, Donald Trump's not playing to the press narrative of 100 days. He's playing to fundamentally transform the country, and thus far, he's charting a good course on that.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1220 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Earlier stall cleared out of that right lane heading up into Tucker, 285 northbound, La Vista Road, exit 37. Out of Ackworth into Kennesaw, still on and off the brakes, 75 southbound from Highway 92 down to Barrett Parkway. Earlier trouble there has cleared. And Hero just cleared up a stall downtown, 75, 85 northbound before Freedom Parkway. All lanes back open, but still seeing some delay back to University Avenue. Traffic brought to you by Ameris Bank. Ameris Bank is a dedicated advocate for you and probably by your side on your financial and proudly by your side on your financial journey. Learn more at amerisbank.com. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Here we go, friends. It's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your noon keyword is smile. S-M-I-L-E, smile. Enter the keyword SMILE into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is SMILE, S-M-I-L-E. Don't forget, if you get a call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000.
This is Scott Slade, and this is my health story. I get a checkup every year. In last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number of my lab work. I'll never forget his words. I want somebody looking over my shoulder on this. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options and optimism for a good outcome. When we're talking about our health, we shouldn't be shy. I think it's important to talk about what can kill you or rob you of your quality of life. Heart disease is still the nation's #1 killer. And what I think should be right up there with it, procrastination. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often to spot problems while we still have options to deal with them. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. I am living proof that preventive medicine can save lives. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from Virtual Imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free, with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
Welcome to Window Wisdom with North Georgia Replacement Windows. Today we're talking with window and door experts Ted Kirk and Jonathan Cullum, owners of North Georgia Replacement Windows. Ted, can you explain how the Infinity fiberglass windows can give us more daylight and bigger views in our home?
Because our Infinity Ultrex fiberglass is so strong, the frames of our windows are thinner, which gives you more daylight and bigger views. Our windows are not big and bulky like other replacement windows.
What if someone wants a window where there isn't one already?
Fortunately, we're licensed general contractors, and we can help with that. Our windows come in both a new construction and replacement option, so we're always guaranteed to have the perfect fit for your home.
How do the Infinity fiberglass windows measure up when it comes to energy efficiency?
Infinity windows have super energy efficient glass that will lower your energy bills and protect your floors, window treatments, and home furnishings from fading out from the damaging sun's UV rays.
Jonathan, anything else you'd like to add?
Just remember, if you're replacing your old windows that are leaking or rotting, choose Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows or you're giving up both daylight and views. And not only are our fiberglass windows more durable, they are truly beautiful windows.
Thank you, Ted and Jonathan, for helping to simplify the window shopping process. If you're interested in the Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and getting more daylight and bigger views from your replacement project, check out the special savings and payment plans at ngwindows.com under the special section, saving you money and making it easier to put the very best windows and doors in your home. To schedule your free consultation, visit them online at ngwindows.com. Check out this month's special offers with huge discounts and flexible payment plans. Log on to ngwindows.com and click on the special offers tab. That's ngwindows.com.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah! Dave Baker here for Overhead Door Company of Atlanta. Let's talk garage doors. Your garage door, is it too loud? Does it let outside air in around the frame? Overhead Door Company of Atlanta will make it all better this month only, and for only $79, they'll perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year anyway, so why not now and for just $79? Schedule now at overheaddooratlanta.com.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Text ARMY to 33777 now.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be happy to have you. I got to play this audio from Chucky Schumer. He is, well, just listen.
The White House and the Republicans are touting the claim that illegal crossings are down by 95%, godways, as they call them, are down by 99%, and only 9 foreign nationals were released into the country compared to many more under the Biden administration in the beginning of the year. Is that not a sign that the Republicans...
I'd say one thing to you. I don't trust Trump's numbers.
So you've got a reporter, if you can't hear the reporter, just arguing about securing the border, closing the border. Joe Biden said it took an act of Congress to close the border. There was no act of Congress. Donald Trump says he closed the border. Border crossings are down. And so what does Chuck Schumer say? I don't trust his numbers. I don't trust his numbers, he says. You don't have to trust Donald Trump's numbers. You can physically drive yourself to the border, Chucky, and watch. Border crossings are way, way down. It's remarkable just how down the border crossings are. I mean, it's virtually completely secure. Maggie Haberman, again, New York Times, played you the audio with Anderson Cooper saying the border is virtually sealed at this point. Her words, virtually sealed. And yet Chuck Schumer doesn't want to believe it. Chuck Schumer believed that Joe Biden was in his right mind as president of the United States. So what does Chuck Schumer know? Chuck Schumer is the guy who put cheese on raw beef patties pretending he was grilling. I don't understand this. It happened first with Terry McAuliffe when he was running for re-election for governor of Virginia, running the second time at least, and he had his grill and looked like he was grilling. The grill was turned off. Everything was raw. And Chuck Schumer then did it like a year or so ago, trying to look hip, trying to look cool. He's got a bunch of food on his grill, and the grill is off. It is literally raw beef patties with cheese on top. I don't know why anyone would want to grill steak tartare, but Chuck Schumer apparently did. And now he says he just doesn't believe the Trump. You don't have to believe it. You can see it with your own eyes that the border is secured and Congress did jack. It's just it took Donald Trump becoming president to get it done. Good for him. When we come back, though, economic news, maybe not so good. We'll take your phone calls as well, 877-973-7425. First, I got to tell you about Americans for Prosperity. They are beginning to raise their army of activists to get to D.C. and to call members of Congress about the president's tax cut plan, because there are some really stupid ideas in it. And AFP is trying to improve the plan and help the president get his agenda passed. They would love to have you on board. They can teach you to become an effective activist. They advance common sense conservatism across the country. They're very good at it. You go to AmericansForProsperity.org. You sign up today. I'm on the board of advisors of Americans for Prosperity. They are a solid group. They really are great people. They can train you to be an effective activist. They can teach you how to knock on your neighbor's doors and be persuasive to them on policy issues, or go to your local or state government, or call your members of Congress. They can just make you be the most informed member of your circle of friends. So when you're at your church group, the barber shop, the golf course, whatever, people start talking policy, you're going to know the details better than anyone else and the best common sense conservative solutions to put forward. All you do is go to AmericansForProsperity.org. They keep you informed. They keep you engaged. AmericansForProsperity.org is the website. Go sign up with AFP today. We'd love to have you on board.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. The NFL has fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000 for the role that the organization played in the prank call to Shedeur Sanders last week during the draft. The fine is for that data leak that led to the son of the team's defensive coordinator accessing the draft contact numbers for Sanders off an iPad separately. Jeff Ulbrich has been slapped with a $100,000 fine. Your weather for today, partly cloudy, warm and humid, afternoon highs around 83. A pop-up shower is possible, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. The FBI is investigating after a drug enforcement agent opened fire on a man and a woman in Calhoun. According to Calhoun police, the drug agent was attempting to stop a vehicle on Outlet Center Drive when the driver tried to hit the agent head on. That agent opened fire, hitting a man and woman who were inside the vehicle. No officers were injured. The FBI investigating this afternoon. A woman is dead in Snellville. Police searching for a suspect in her death. Gwinnett Police Corporal Ryan Winderweedle says that a child inside that home on Hillsborough Drive called 911.
When officers arrived, they located a female deceased inside the home, and they were informed that the suspect had just fled on foot.
And new this afternoon, police have now identified the victim as 35-year-old Tiffany Trim. The woman and her alleged killer did know each other. The children inside the home were not related to either one of them. And if you're thinking about running the Peachtree Road Race this year, today is the last day to register. Registration closing tonight at 11:59. More than 50,000 runners lace up their tennis shoes to take part in the 10K road race each year on the 4th of July. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 307 at 40,219. NASDAQ is currently down more than 1.5%, and the S&P is down more than a full percent. It's 12:32.
There's a new optimism in the air, and we think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects, now we need partners like you. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
While spring in Georgia can be a more comfortable season, we all know it's a precursor to our sweltering summer. Hi, this is Daniel Jape. Make sure your air conditioning system is ready all summer long with our maintenance checkup today from Jape Services. And if you happen to need to replace an aging system, now's a great time. We have excellent financing options, rebates, and even a federal tax credit. Call us 24/7 to book your appointment or book online at japeservices.com.
Count on us, Jape Services.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
We are still watching a few brake lights between Ackworth and Kennesaw. Just volume, best I can tell. 75 southbound, leaving Highway 92 down toward the Barrett Parkway area. In DeKalb County, DOT says there's construction in the right lane. I-20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel Road and Panola Road. Also picking up some westbound delays. 20 westbound before Panola. We'll see if anything is blocked there. In 85 northbound up in Barrow County, right lane crash. Highway 211, exit 126 next to Chateau Alon. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy, warm, and humid today. High 83 with a stray pop-up shower possible this afternoon.
More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's got the courage to tell you the truth, even when it isn't popular. You're listening to The Eric Erickson Show.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. If you would like to be a part of the program, I would be happy to have you. In fact, let me fire up the call screening here. I want to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ryan's phone call. Welcome to the show, Ryan. How are you?
Oh, great, Eric. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, sir. I just
Sure.
wanted to make, I just want to present a dichotomy. I'm kind of sort of in favor of the tariffs, but it's hurting one of my friend's business. I'm in industrial sales. He gets his lasers for his products in China, and that price has doubled, and it has killed his sales by 60%. But on the other hand, I have another friend who has an oil and gas vessel manufacturing business, and they have the potential of the largest order they've ever had in 60 years for 120 vessels to house all of the LNG that would come out of Anwar. So, you know, Trump got the South Koreans, the Japanese, and the Australians to invest in the infrastructure for Anwar, and they will thus be the recipients of it. So, you know, I don't know. It's a dichotomy. I hear what you're saying.
Here's what the data, and again, it's the data, take it for what it's worth, but it does tend to hold up over time, is that there are industries and businesses in the United States that are going to be helped by tariffs, but it's actually fewer than those that'll be hurt by tariffs. So more people will be in your friend's situation losing money than will be in the situation of others gaining. And that's the problem. So, yeah, there is some manufacturing that will be helped in the United States. Steel and aluminum definitely helped in the United States. And we do need to invest in that for our own national security. But at the same time, killing mom and pop shops across America. So, Ryan, I was in Tulsa right after the election last year, and I stayed downtown. And I actually, so I needed a chocolate bar. I needed a Snicker bar. I was going to be a raging rear end if I didn't get one. So there's a little bitty shop downtown. Went in there, and it was knick-knacky stuff. They had T-shirts and stuff. So I didn't know that you guys in Tulsa, like your whole downtown is the whole Art Deco and modernist architecture and Frank Lloyd Wright. It was gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. We have, we used to be the oil capital of the world, and yeah, Frank Lloyd Wright loved Tulsa.
Yeah, and in fact, I saw one of his houses is for sale there. I'm not going to buy it; I don't have the money. But it's so. But anyway, it was cool architecture, and so this shop had a bunch of T-shirts and memorabilia and stuff. My son is big into architecture, loves Frank Lloyd Wright, so I bought him a T-shirt. All stuff made in China. That shop is going to get nailed to the wall on tariffs. Now, the oil and gas lawyers next door in the big law firm, they're going to make a killing. But there are way more of the little T-shirt shops than the oil and gas lawyers next door, and that's the trade-off here.
Yeah, that's true. But oil and gas drives Tulsa, so it's like Tulsans will side with the tariffs, So
yeah.
I don't know. I'm up in the air. I'm still just trying to be open and listening,
right.
and just really just listening. And that's why I appreciate your show. You're very honest.
Well, look, I appreciate it, and hopefully get back out there. I got to get to Oklahoma. We're on in Oklahoma City too now, so I need to do a massive tour of Oklahoma. Go see the Pioneer Woman, hang out up there. Get some good food. My wife wants to go help her husband brand cows. Seriously, my wife loves Ree Drummond, just adores the woman, and wants to go help her husband brand cattle. She thinks that would be the coolest thing on earth, except she wants to ride her motorcycle out to Oklahoma. I'm like, nah, just fly.
Yeah, I actually met Gettner Drummond. Yeah, just fly. I met Gettner Drummond, and he's a super nice guy. He's a really nice guy. And we have the new theme park coming up just northeast of Tulsa. It's like a $2 billion theme park. It's called Mid-America. Yeah, it's big. It's up near Lake Cherokee, Lake. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I need, and I got to go see a hockey game out of Tulsa. I didn't know you guys had a hockey team, and you do. So I need to do that.
We sure do.
Yep,
You
I
sure
will be
do.
back,
You need to
Ryan.
see Phil's game, too. Yeah.
Stay tuned. I'll come out. I'll buy you a beer. Thank you for the phone call, Ryan. 877-973-7425. And so to Ryan's point there, on the dichotomy of businesses, more businesses tend to be hurt by tariffs than helped by tariffs in the United States, which is a problem that the Trump administration has to address. But I got to tell you, so I just got this audio. A buddy of mine listening out in Sacramento sent me this audio. Haha, Bill, I have more than you listening in Sacramento Live. And I was kind of gobsmacked by Peter Navarro on CNBC. I don't have the video, but I got the audio. This is the White House trade advisor, Peter Navarro.
I got to say just one thing about today's news. That's the best negative print I have ever seen in my life. And the markets need to look beneath the surface of that. We had a 22% increase in domestic investment. That is off the charts when you strip out inventories and the negative effects of the surge in imports because of the tariffs. You had 3% growth. So we really like where we're at now. With respect to China, look, Jim.
Okay, he really did say that. Let's catch this last part again.
The negative effects of surge in imports because of the tariffs, you had 3% growth.
So did you guys hear this? Peter Navarro on CNBC says we had 3% growth, but for the negative effects of tariffs. But for the negative effects of tariffs, we had 3% growth.
And the negative effects of the surge in imports because of the tariffs, you had 3% growth.
So you had 3% growth, but for the tariffs. And so what did the tariffs do? Negative growth in the first quarter. If it happens in the second quarter, definitionally a recession. Well, thank you for the Trump administration, for the Biden administration, rejiggering the definition of a recession so they can say 2 quarters negative growth, no longer recession. Them's the rules, people. That's what you said for Biden. The GDP report was not good, adding fears to the idea that we're headed to a recession. President Trump is blaming Joe Biden and defending his tariffs, saying be patient. Other data showed private sector payrolls rose by just 62,000 in April, below expectations. Now, in a Truth Social post, Donald Trump says, this is former President Joe Biden's stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until January 20th. There is, of course, a problem because we do have a tweet from Donald Trump on January 24th, 2020. No, I'm sorry, January 29th, 2024. This is the Trump stock market because my polls against Biden are so good that investors are projecting that I will win and will drive the market up. January 29th, 2024, before he's president. Now, April 30th, 2025. This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. My man, never take credit for the ups and downs of the stock market. He says, by the way, Trump says this will take a while, has nothing to do with tariffs, only that he left us with bad numbers. Peter Navarro is on CNBC actually blaming the tariffs directly for the negative numbers. So you've got Peter Navarro, who is the biggest advocate for tariffs in the Trump administration, on CNBC acknowledging that the tariffs have caused negative GDP growth. The economy has shrunk in the first quarter because of the tariffs. That's Peter Navarro. You heard him. I played it 3 times for you. Peter Navarro, the president's trade advisor, says tariffs caused the shrinking economy, and that but for tariffs, we actually grew by 3%, except we didn't grow by 3%. We shrank by 0.3% because of the tariffs. ADP shows the smallest gain in hiring. Downward revision of 147,000 jobs in March to 62,000. The Dow Jones had estimated 120,000. The latest GDP report shows personal consumption expenditure price index, the Fed's preferred inflation measure, sharply increasing by 3.6% in the first quarter, up from 2.4%. Experts have pegged the shrinking payroll numbers and cratering consumer confidence to uncertainty. Now, we're seeing greater inflation and an economic contraction. Now, that greater inflation, you've got to understand, though, the thing with tariffs is we talk about them as inflationary, but it's kind of a one-time bump. If it's 10%, the markets eventually take into account that 10% bump. But here's the problem. When the economy is shrinking and inflation is growing, you're getting stagflation. And we're going to need another quarter to see what's really going on. Because it is absolutely true that Donald Trump didn't take up the presidency until January 20th, but he had all of February and all of March. The only thing that has changed are tariffs. And remember, there were tariffs implemented early. He walked some of them back with Canada and Mexico, but they were there. Gross domestic product, January through March, fell to an annualized pace of 0.3%. Economists surveyed had expected a gain of 0.4% after the GDP rose 2.4% in the fourth quarter. So it's still positive growth. I got to correct myself there out of the gate. It's not negative 0.3%. It's just 0.3%. It's almost no growth at all in the economy. And Peter Navarro can say, well, it was 3%, but for the negative effects of tariffs. But he said that on TV. Peter Navarro, I played it 3 times for you, but for the negative effects of tariffs. Yes, the tariffs are having a negative effect on the economy. That's what I've been telling you people all along was going to happen. The tariffs would have a negative effect on the economy. And I mean, Ryan, there, if you're still listening, that's Peter Navarro, who advocates for tariffs, admitting that tariffs have had a negative effect on the economy thus far. And by the way, we've paused the reciprocal tariffs. I'm continuing to build a theory in my head on which I could be wrong, and I'm holding myself out there. Part of me wonders if Trump is going to run with the tariffs until the GOP tax plan is in effect and then get rid of them. And they can use the revenue calculations from tariffs to be able to pad the margins to make Donald Trump's tax cuts permanent and then get rid of the tariffs. Once the tax cuts are permanent through reconciliation, you get rid of the tariffs, the economy is going to explode. That's going to be my theory. I can't imagine that this amount of sabotage being done to the economy, recklessly and obviously done to the economy, is something that they really want to do. The only thing I can think of at this point, and trying to impute some good intentions here, is that actually what's going on here is he's leveraging the tariffs to pad the margins for the GOP to cut more taxes, and then once the taxes are cut through reconciliation, he'll get rid of the tariffs. I can't imagine a legitimacy of going any other direction. It would be wild to see the president stick with this plan for that long, given the effects of the economy. These numbers aren't good. The fact that the Fed's preferred inflation measure rose 3.6% for the quarter, it had been 2.4%. People thought it was headed in the right direction, that it was getting down to 2%. Instead, it's up 3.6%. That's not a good sign for any of us. And part of that is the tariffs, but not all of that is the tariffs. But the tariffs are slowing things down. It's got to be a ploy so that the Republicans can use the revenue projections to get tax cuts permanent, and then they've got to go away. That's the only rational thing I can think of. And if it's not it, then it's just suicidal to keep going. Go to ericforhillsdale.com. Take the capitalism class, please learn about capitalism. ericforhillsdale.com. It's completely free. You get a certificate of completion. But here's the thing: go to ericforhillsdale.com and check out the 40 different classes they've got. In fact, ericforhillsdale.com. I'm going there now. You know what? It would help if I could spell my own name. Hillsdale.com. Ta-da! Look at that. You've got, check out the catalog of classes. You can sign up. You've got history classes, philosophy and religion, literature, politics, political philosophy, economics, fine arts, math, and natural sciences. The great principles of chemistry one is fun. They're all done with Hillsdale's professors. They're individual lessons. So, for example, the Great Principles of Chemistry, when it's a 6-hour class, but it's got 9 lessons that are broken up. So you watch the lessons with Hillsdale's faculty, or take the 10 lessons on the President of the Constitution, or the 10 lessons on Constitution 201. You can also take the Constitution 101, the meaning and history of the Constitution. That's 12 lessons. Do it at your own pace, completely free. There's got to be a topic. There has to be a topic. There's got to be a topic that you're interested in and want to learn more about. And it's education, not indoctrination. And it's all available free of charge from Hillsdale College. Go to Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up for one of the classes, get the certificate of completion, build a relationship with Hillsdale College, expand your mind and your horizons.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Eric Erickson Show.
1251 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Hero just cleared some trouble to the right shoulder in Lithonia, 20 westbound, just before Panola Road, exit 71. Those delays from Evans Mill will start to improve. If you're traveling 75 south between Ackworth and Kennesaw, I'm still seeing some volume leaving Highway 92, exit 277, down toward Barrett Parkway. And on the south side in Fairburn, left lane construction, I should say, in both directions. 85 north and southbound Highway 74, Sonoy Road, exit 61. Traffic brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and for UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That's amazing. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every
This
weekday.
is Dawn in Brazelton, and I just won $1,000 from WSB.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 2.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
On 95.5 WSB.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Spring is in the air, and a lot of us are looking at things to spruce up our homes, from tweaking or landscaping, a little bit of paint. But how's your roof looking? This is Scott Slade. A new roof can dramatically improve the look of your home. Lots of uncertainties in the economy right now, so my roofer, FGA Roofing, has put together an offer you should consider. They call it the 000 plan. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments for 12 months. With FGA Roofing, you can get a quote in just a few days and your roof installed in just a couple of weeks. And you can wait to pay until it fits your timeline. FGA Roofing specializes in slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, as well as architectural roofs. The experts at FGA Roofing can lay out all the options for you, whether your roof is aging out or you just want a designer upgrade for your home, or both. FGA Roofing, where you'll get first-rate installation and quality service, always. Just search FGA Roofing to get started with a free quote today. That's FGA Roofing.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
All the information without the spin. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Hello there. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Yeah, the phone number 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, I would be very happy to have you. This hour of the program brought to you by First Liberty Building and Loan. If you're buying a building, if you're building a building, whatever you do in business, if you see opportunity right now, reach out to them, firstlibertyga.com. They help businesses nationwide. They've been doing it since the 90s. It's the same family doing it. They love to help businesses grow. FirstLibertyGA.com. Tell them I sent you. We're doing an event July 12th at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, and we're doing the Egyptian Ballroom. It holds about 600 people. I had intended to open sales to my listeners today. I put it on social media yesterday and mentioned to you guys yesterday you could go over to Instagram and find the link. It's sold out. It's sold out. I have a number of people I was going to invite, and now I'm uninviting a lot of because it's for charity. I want to raise money for charity, so uninviting people, adding seats to the room. The Fox Theater itself holds like 5,000 seats. I don't think I can sell out the Fox Theater, but the Egyptian Ballroom at the Fox holds like 600-700 seats. I think I can sell that out. So I kind of like was not expecting this. So my apologies for those who can't get tickets. We're going to reconfigure the room and see if we can open some more seats up, because I'm just floored that there's that much demand to come hang out with me. So I just keep your ear to the ground here. Keep a hold July 12th. We will make more seats available, I promise. I will cull my list of friends and family that I was going to invite. Just so I can maximize the sellable tickets to make as much money for good nonprofits as I can. But I'm staggered. I'm flabbergasted, very flattered that that many people want to come to this event. Part of me is like, maybe we should see about the actual theater, but I don't think I can fill up that room, and that would be a terrible blow to my ego to have 1,000 people in the room and it still looks empty because it's so big. But we'll figure it out. We'll make something work. I'm just overwhelmed. Now, when we come back, the House GOP has abandoned that stupid idea for a car tax. Even Chuck Schumer was attacking the Republicans for wanting to do a national car tax. What a dumb idea. They've abandoned it because of my buddy Chip Roy, who is a great American hero, who is standing up for this stuff. And so I want to talk about that. Even though they've abandoned it, there's some relative points here to make, including all the quality and caliber of the candidates and people we have in the House of Representatives like Chip. There's a rumor afoot Scott Jennings might run for the Senate. He was on stage with Donald Trump in Michigan. And the Catholic Church is before the Supreme Court today. They want to do a charter school in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Attorney General is opposed to allowing the Catholics to have a charter school in Oklahoma. I've got the details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or ConsumerCellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Window Nation. Following the prank phone call at the NFL draft, the Falcons now are fined by the league.
The team is fined $250,000 by the NFL, and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich is also fined $100,000. The 21-year-old son of Ulbrich admits to making the prank call to Shedeur Sanders. He pretended to be the general manager of the Saints, telling Sanders they were about to draft him. Jax Ulbrich got Sanders' phone number off his father's open iPad at their house. The Falcons say they were proactive in addressing the situation internally and accept the discipline levied to Coach Ulbrich and the organization. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Thank you, Bill. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today, headed for an afternoon high of 83. We could have a pop-up shower this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. We now know the name of the woman who was killed in Snellville at a home on Hillsborough Drive. She's been identified as 35-year-old Tiffany Trim. A child at that home called 911. The woman and her alleged killer did know each other.
The juveniles in the house were unharmed and are unrelated to either the suspect or the victim.
That is Gwinnett Police Corporal Ryan Winderweedle. A search underway now for the man this hour. The Gwinnett Solicitor General has a new special victims unit.
The new unit will serve victims of sensitive misdemeanor offenses, including sex crimes, vehicular homicides, stalking, pandering, and prostitution. Gwinnett County Solicitor General says the special victims unit is a significant step toward ensuring every victim in Gwinnett County receives the attention and care they deserve, especially teens. The new team will also serve as the primary point of contact for all animal cruelty and neglect cases prosecuted in Gwinnett County State Court. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
This is new this afternoon. The U.S. Senate passes a bipartisan bill to improve prison safety and security. The measure is co-sponsored by Georgia's John Ossoff and the Tennessee's Marsha Blackburn. It would require the Department of Justice to implement a comprehensive strategy to help end sexual abuse in federal prisons. The bill now heads to the U.S. House. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's down 190 at 40,337. So the Dow's down almost 0.5%. NASDAQ's down more than a full percent. And the S&P's down almost a full percent here at 102.
How can your termite company claim your home is termite free? By only walking around the outside? Dave Baker for Breda Pest Management. Termites are the most destructive pest of all. They literally eat your house. So only Breda will also come inside and thoroughly inspect your entire home with infrared cameras. Breda guarantees your termite protection and will lock in your rate for 10 years. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at choicemenshealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB Radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That's amazing.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every
This
weekday.
is Dawn in Brazelton, and I just won $1,000 from WSB.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 2.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
On 95.5 WSB.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Seeing some volume in both directions through Henry County, 75 north and southbound between Stockbridge and McDonough. No crashes or stalls blocking any lanes right now. Just a little extra pressure on that run of the interstate. 85 northbound out at DeKalb in Gwinnett County, on and off the brakes from 285 passing Jimmy Carter Boulevard in Norcross. And traffic troopers tell me about a shutdown in Cherokee County. Canton Knoxbridge Highway shut down in both directions just west of Butterworth Road with a bad crash there. So plan your alternates west of I-575. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. High 83 with an isolated pop-up thunderstorm through the afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few more pop-up showers and storms. High 84. Friday, partly cloudy with scattered afternoon thunderstorms. High 82.
More news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome. It's Eric Erickson here across the nation. The phone number 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, would be delighted to have you with me. We got a lot to cover in this hour. Goodness gracious. I'm still getting email. Folks, I'm getting emails from people. Why can't I get it? Because we're sold out. I'm going to try to. I'm going to add more tickets. Don't worry about it. We will get you taken care of. I got to talk about Great American Hero. Y'all know I'm friends with Chip Roy, the congressman from Texas. He's been a dear friend for a while, and I'm glad he's in Congress. You know, the president has threatened to run someone against Chip, because Chip Roy does not give Donald Trump everything he wants always. Let me step back for a moment. Relive unpleasantness to get to something important. You know, in 2016, I didn't support the president. Didn't support him. It more a matter of character than anything, and I was convinced he would get into office and actually be a operate like a Democrat. They didn't support him. This is the year I was given 24 hours to live, blood clots in my lungs. My wife was given a 2-year sentence to live with an incurable form of lung cancer, genetic. The same day that I was put in the hospital, given 24 hours to live, we found out she had the lung cancer. And we had people show up at our house, 3 guys to threaten us. My son was beat up on the playground at their school. My daughter was given a guide to commit suicide from kids in her class at school, telling her that if she killed herself, I might see the light and return to the fold. I didn't know that at the time. My wife and kids actually protected me from a lot of the information. My kids were chased through a store, and they were harassed. My family was harassed. My wife was harassed because I didn't support Donald Trump. 3 important things out of this. And it's worth recounting that in the synopsis version to get to these 3 things. The first thing is I never blamed Donald Trump. He's not my cup of tea. And you know, I get people who say, you have Trump derangement syndrome. No, I can see clearly there are things that I like and things that I don't like. I don't have derangement syndrome because I criticize Trump. I criticize Bush. I criticize McCain. I criticize Romney. I'll criticize Donald Trump. And you've deranged if you don't think I'm going to criticize someone who I can support. The fact that there are people out there who you can't say anything critical of your team, and you see this in sports as well, where you're not allowed to say anything critical of your team. No, you should hold them accountable. Two, I never really got mad at the people who did it. I mean, I got mad. It kind of hacks my wife off that I didn't want to press charges or things like that. Because, I mean, these are people who they sided with George W. Bush. They won him the popular vote his second go-around. And what did he do immediately? Try to get Harriet Miers on the Supreme Court. And then he tried to pass amnesty for illegal immigrants. They felt betrayed. So along comes John McCain. We've got to relitigate the year 2000. We had already decisively beaten him with George W. Bush. We've got to relitigate it. He rubs our noses in it. Mitt Romney runs to the right of him. A lot of the people who felt betrayed by Bush, they ran towards Romney because Romney was taking on McCain. McCain wins. He puts on Palin, and McCain's team sabotages Sarah Palin. I mean, Nicole Wallace famously was one of the leakers smearing Sarah Palin to the press, and now she's at MSNBC. And I know Nicole Wallace was one of those people because she admitted to me that she did it. She wasn't smearing. She was just saying what a not good person Sarah Palin was in over her head. So then Romney comes back in 2012, and now Romney's the moderate. He ran as the conservative. Now he's the moderate. A lot of the same people. Now look, a lot of the people who ran McCain's team and ran Romney's team, they're never Trump on the Democratic side, fundraising to help Democrats and take out good Republicans. So along comes Donald Trump in 2016, and I got it. People were mad at me. You could hold your nose and vote for them. Why can't you do it for him? A lot of it had to do with faith convictions and things like that. I couldn't do it. And he had been a Democrat for so long. Luckily, I was wrong. Not only did he win, he actually had a great first term, and so I supported him in 2020. I supported him in 2024, but still, there are the level of angry people. Like the other day, I referred to him as Donnie from Queens. It's a statement that Rush Limbaugh has used before about Donald Trump, that he is like a talk radio or sports talk caller. He calls, he's got strongly held views, he thinks he's right, he wants you to know, he wants to see your reaction to him. Is Donnie from Queens. Guys, that's so disrespectful to my president. This is Trump derangement syndrome. I'm canceling my subscription. Cancel your own damn subscription. I'm fine with you canceling your subscription. If you can't handle me willing to criticize, and I get this all the time, there's a certain segment of Trump supporters who can abide no criticism and have as little grace in their hearts as people on the left. They claim they go to church and they are as pharisaical as the Pharisees that Jesus had to take on. You say, well, you put one foot out of line, you take one disagreement with them up. You got Trump derangement syndrome. How dare you? I'll never listen to you again. I've gotten used to it. And I don't blame Donald Trump for that per se either. People these days are super sensitive. I mean, if you're upset with me saying Donnie from Queens, you're no different from the purple-haired barista who gets mad when you don't use they, them pronouns to her. No different. People are super sensitive these days. But what does stick in my craw with the president and his supporters is you're going to take a guy like Chip Roy, who is the guy you want in the room. He's the guy who fights the good fight for all the things you say you stand for on smaller government, getting out of the way, being a burden, reducing the burden of government. And because he is, quote unquote, disloyal to the president, doesn't give in when the president has a bad idea, that's cult-like, and I can't abide that. Chip Roy is the guy you want in the room. You know, Chip Roy was the guy in the room when George Bush picked Harriet Miers, who, as a staffer in the Senate, came up with the plan to sabotage Harriet Miers and took her out, saved America from Harriet Miers. That's Chip Roy who did that. Chip Roy is the guy who, when Ted Cruz became senator, made sure Ted did not go wobbly in the Senate and became the firebrand conservative we know. Chip Roy went on to oversee the death penalty in the Texas Attorney General's office before himself running for Congress and getting elected to Congress. And he has fought the Democrats, he has fought Republicans, and he has fought consistently, and you know where he stands. That's the sort of guy that we want. Back in January, Republicans got together with Elon Musk in the House of Representatives, and Chip Roy made a number of his Republican colleagues mad when he looked Elon Musk in the eye and he said, your problem is not what you're going to find in government. Your problem are the men and women around me. He told Elon Musk that the Republicans who are around me are going to be your amen chorus, and they're never going to vote to cut the spending that you find. They're never going to vote to end the waste, fraud, and abuse. They're going to say they support it. They're going to support you. They're not going to vote to rescind it. Yesterday, in the House of Representatives, he proved right. The Republicans in the House of Representatives refused to cut the waste that Elon Musk had found. Chip Roy was right. And you know what else those Republicans did? Some of the Republicans, the chairman of the House Transportation Committee, and those of you who live in Missouri need to know it's your Sam Graves came up with the idea. Sam Graves is and he's a pretty good Republican from Missouri. Sam Graves represents Missouri's 6th congressional district. Those of you in Kansas City listening to me right now, he is your member of Congress, Sam Graves. And Sam Graves came up with the idea of a national car registration tax. Sam Graves decided that because we can't raise the national gas tax, God forbid we raise the national gas tax. So the national gas tax, it's why you have that thousandth of a penny on the gas pump. The federal government taxes gas like 18.9 cents, something like that. It hasn't raised that in decades. And all that money is divided between the states based on the number of people per state who drive on roads. So bigger states get more, smaller states get less, depends on the amount of vehicular traffic in states. And that money goes to pay for infrastructure, pay for federal highways, pay for interstates, pay for bridges, things like that. It's a necessary tax. And the problem is, and I acknowledge this, Congressman Graves, that as more people buy hybrid and electric vehicles, we have less of it, and we haven't raised the rate of it. We got to find a way for people who ride on roads in electric cars that are heavier than gas-powered vehicles to pay their fair share to fix the roads and the bridges they take advantage of. Every taxpayer who drives should pay for part of the upkeep of those. We fund that through the gas tax. An electric car pays no gas tax. So how are you going to do that? There are privacy concerns over a mileage tax. That's kind of where they're headed is maybe we should do a mileage tax. There are several states that have done this. They haven't caught on at the federal level. But yes, I recognize there's a problem. But Graves' solution was a national tax on your vehicle that you would pay every year. Just $20 if it was a fossil fuel burning vehicle, $200 I think if it was an electric vehicle, $100 if it was a hybrid. I understand why he came up with the idea. But that's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. Sam Graves has been in the House of Representatives since January 3rd, 2001. Starting to think like someone who might have been in the Beltway too long. Margaret Thatcher has a great quote. It is one of my favorite quotes. In fact, if you get if you're a radio station and we're trying to woo you, you get one of these boxes and it has this quote. Think inside the box on the front of it, and when you open it up, there's the original quote from Margaret Thatcher, which is when any of your advisors says think outside the box, shoot them. I love that quote. If any of your advisors says think outside the box, shoot them. That's from Margaret Thatcher. It's a great quote. Sam Graves thought outside the box. Not urging violence on Sam Graves, but it was Chip Roy, again, who led the resistance. So think about this. Donald Trump has said he wants to primary Chip Roy because Chip Roy has been an obstacle to plans to grow the government. It was Chip Roy who was sabotaged. Here's the Politico. Chip Roy, congressman from Texas, was outraged by Sam Graves' proposal, and put it forward as an example of why he's skeptical about how much the Republicans' party line package of tax cuts, border security investments, energy policies, and more will actually reduce the federal deficit. Like, are you out of your freaking mind, Roy said Tuesday upon reviewing the proposal. The party of limited government is going to go out and say we're going to have a car tax? You know what I was told? Don't worry about it. We'll get rid of it later in the highway bill, Roy continued. He said the message he received is that the car tax is a gimmick to pay for this, so we know that we're not actually going to pay for it. That's how it works. Not good enough. There's enough outrage from Chip Roy, who rallied opposition to the car tax, that the House Republican leaders have ordered Sam Graves to kill the car tax. Good. And you're telling me some of you want to oust a guy like Chip Roy because he's not loyal enough to Donald Trump. The problem is when you put loyalty above accountability, you get no one to be loyal to because they lose. I was willing to criticize George W. Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney. The only person I've ever faced inordinate pressure against for criticizing is Donald Trump. His supporters insist there can be no criticism at all. I can't not criticize politicians. And my view has always been, going back to 2006 when the Republicans got swept out of power, that if Republicans had done a better job of holding themselves accountable, the voters would not have done such a massive backlash against them. You got to hold your side accountable. I don't believe any politician is infallible, nor do I believe any politician is a super genius. But I believe we need guys like Chip Roy. And when the president says, well, maybe we got to primary him to get more of our way, I think the president needs to reconsider. This is the man who rallied a coalition to stop a car tax, which is something, by the way, the Soviets came up with. Did you know this? The Soviets are the ones who came up with a national car registration tax. Back in the 1960s, you wanted a car in Tajikistan, you better pay Moscow some money. And they could build a social credit score with it. And if you didn't pay it, the revenue agents came for you. And this is something the Republicans, not even the Democrats, were willing to propose a car tax, and the Republicans did, and it's guys like Chip Roy who were there to kill it, which is why you want guys like that to stay in Washington.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
121 Cool-Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Some volume filling in Marietta, 75 northbound, on and off the brakes from the Delk Road, Windy Hill area, trying to make your way up to Chastain Road, exit 271 in Kennesaw. Crash is lingering in the right lane, but about to be towed away up in to Chateau Alon area, 85 northbound, Highway 211, exit 126. And on the south side, left lane construction in Fairburn both ways, 85 north and south, right around Highway 74, Sonoya Road, exit 61. Traffic brought to you by Discover. Do you know what's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide? If you guessed Discover, you guessed right, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
All
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
Your deck is more than just a place to flip a burger or have a cup of coffee. It gathers your friends and family on all your favorite occasions and is there to enjoy every day. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors, and we build beautiful, high-quality decks at a reasonable price. We're licensed and insured, provide exceptional customer service, design help, and we'll work with the materials you want. Strength, durability, beauty. Decks done differently. Built by Nelson Exteriors. Get your free estimate. Google Nelson Exteriors.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. everything you can imagine, from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway and Cumming. Visit lakewoodantiques.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
You can be live on Eric's show by calling 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425.
Yes, you can. I got to play this audio from Bill Weir. Bill Weir is, yesterday I mentioned that CNN doesn't have a single program in the top 25 news programs for the month of April, which actually runs from the very end of March to just the other day. You gotta listen to this commentary. This is Bill Weir, the environmental reporter.
Anything with a hint of climate change attached to it, or even ground level pollution, PFAS, plastics, these sorts of things. Lee Zeldin just announced they're going to tackle microplastics, these sorts, but with no real policy plan in place. Meanwhile, laying off the best and brightest earth scientists really in the world at a time is creating, as you can imagine, incredible angst in the space right now. But at the same time, the price of oil is about $50 a barrel, which is a huge money loser for all the oil executives that Donald Trump promised to help with deregulation. So right now, everybody's hurting on the front of this story, and remains to be seen what becomes of this assessment. The people working on it, if they can do one that they release to the public, who knows? But once again, really hiding the science, telling people essentially to stay seated in a burning theater and removing the exit signs as well.
Hyperbole much? He's upset because Donald Trump is got rid of the lefties who were doing environmental end-of-the-world doomsaying research for the Biden administration. How many years until humanity dies? Sort of stuff. And Bill Weir is, we're in a burning building. They've removed even the exit signs. Nonsense. The man's a hysteric. He's an activist. He's not a reporter yet. That's who CNN chooses as their climate reporter, which is why nobody takes the network seriously anymore. Just pitiful. All right, before I head to commercial break, I have got to have a small conversation with you about Hillsdale College. Hillsdale is where you can go to get, wait, haven't I told you about Hillsdale College? Yes, I have, but let me do it again. EricForHillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, EricForHillsdale.com. Go sign up. You can take classes from Hillsdale College. You can take the capitalism class. You can take the history of religion class. You can take the Constitution class. Take all sorts of classes at ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K. That's the website. It's completely free. You never get charged a penny at Hillsdale College. Not at all. You get a certificate of completion, and it's fantastic. Great people. And great classes. There's no indoctrination. It's just education. They've been doing this since 1833. They were founded in Michigan with the goal of educating Americans where they are. You're on the internet. They're on the internet. Go to ericforhillsdale.com. You won't pay a penny. You can get educated from Hillsdale College.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. A woman is dead in Snellville. Police this afternoon searching for a suspect in her death. Gwinnett Police Corporal Ryan Winderweedle says that a child inside the home on Hillsborough Drive called 911.
When officers arrived, they located a female deceased inside the home, and they were informed that the suspect had just fled on foot.
And police have now identified the victim as 35-year-old Tiffany Trim. The woman and her alleged killer did know each other. The children inside the home were not related to either one of them. Your weather for today, partly cloudy, warm and humid, headed for an afternoon high of 83. Could have a pop-up shower or two, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. The FBI is investigating after a drug enforcement agent opened fire on a man and a woman today in Calhoun. According to Calhoun police, the drug agent was attempting to stop a vehicle on Outlet Center Drive when the driver tried to hit the agent head on. That agent opened fire, hitting a man and a woman who were inside the vehicle. No officers were injured. The FBI is investigating this afternoon. The NFL has fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000 for the role the organization played in the prank call to Shadur Sanders last week during the draft. The fine is for the data leak that led to the son of the team's defensive coordinator accessing the draft contact number of Sanders off of an iPad. And if you're thinking about running the Peachtree Road Race this year, today is the last day to register. Registration closes at 11:59 tonight. Every year, more than 50,000 runners lace up their tennis shoes and take part in the 10K road race on the 4th of July. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow right now is down 169 at 40,357. NASDAQ is currently down more than a full percent, and the S&P is down more than 0.5%. It's 132.
Breda knows how critical it is to protect the inside of your home, not just the outside, against bugs and critters. Termites are the most destructive pest of all. They literally eat your house. Meteorologist Christina Edwards here for Breda Pest Management. I bet your termite company just walks around outside, checks the bait stations, and says, "You're termite free." But are you? How can they claim that when they haven't even inspected inside? Only Breda protects your home from termites with a complete liquid barrier system, not just bait stations. And only Breda's early detection process will thoroughly inspect your entire home with advanced infrared cameras. Breda is so confident they guarantee your protection and will lock in your termite rate for 10 years. Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters like termites. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Save money by getting pre-approved for your next auto loan at Coosa Valley Credit Union. We offer the most competitive interest rates in the market, as low as 3.49 APR when you open an account with direct deposit. This is Andy Harris, President of Coosa Valley Credit Union, inviting you to stop in a branch near you. You'll experience kinder banking with real people, not automation. Plus, with 11 locations in Northwest Georgia, we're always local and nearby.
Contact 706-235-8551 for more details. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring Tchaikovsky's delightfully atmospheric First Symphony. Winter Daydreams, May 15th and 17th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
I love when I'm meeting a friend or even just see a listener and they notice a piece of jewelry I'm wearing and say, "Did you get that at D. Geller & Son?" "Well, yeah, I did." One of my absolute favorite things to do is to shop D. Geller & Son Jewelers for something for myself or for someone I love. The folks at D. Geller & Son are so friendly, and it's no wonder. It's a family-owned business since 1939. They love what they do, and they love helping you. See for yourself in Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com. And be sure to tell them Katie sent you.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather, Alex Williams.
Watching the brake lights through downtown, on and off 75-85 southbound from 17th Street as you head down toward North Avenue. Northbound a little sluggish, getting up through that Grady Hospital curve. Don't forget, got that crash investigation in Canton, shutting down Highway 20, Knoxbridge Highway just west of a 575, so plan your alternate routes there. Elsewhere, they're about to clear up the last of this crash up near Chateau Lawn, 85 northbound Highway 211 exit number 126. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today, high 83 with a stray pop-up shower possible this afternoon.
81 degrees in Douglasville and Holly Springs. More news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Smart, fearless, and occasionally funny. You're listening to The Eric Erickson Show.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. Next Friday, I will begin our grand tour of stations. And one of those stations is in Southern Pines, North Carolina, and that's where we're going to kick it off. Talk 97.3 WEEB, covering the Sand Hills area. I mean, we got Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen. We're going to be in Aberdeen. If you go to the website, WEEB990.com, you can sign up to go hang out with me. I'm looking at it right now, WEEB990.com. You can go meet and greet with Eric Erickson. You can go click the link, and I will be there. It's going to be in Aberdeen. It's going to be from 5 to 7 next Friday, May 9th. I would love to have you with me. Hang out, Q&A, meet and greet. We're going to have a great time down there, so show up. In the meantime, calling from Southern Pines is Brad. Welcome to the show, sir. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Eric, I can't wait for you to come, brother. We're getting there. We've still got a little bit of space left for tickets. So, everybody go ahead and get some and come on out and meet you.
Fantastic. I'm ready to be up there. You know, I got to say, I was going to get a hotel room at Pinehurst. I don't know what they've got going on there, but they're completely sold out, so there must be a big crowd up there playing golf.
It's golf season. Good luck finding a hotel around here.
Yeah.
But that being said, I need to kind of phrase this question to you as to not necessarily make Charlie's job any harder today, because he does deserve a raise.
No, he does not.
But he does not. I'll talk to him later about that one. So I've been thinking about this for a while now, and you brought up the point about Trump and Chip Roy. So my question, I guess, to you is, all these people that are just diehard Trump supporters, when he goes out of office in 3 years, and these congressmen and House people are still there, where are these people going to turn to throw their support behind, kind of going forward to continue the conservative movement?
I'm glad you say that. Ask that question. So here's my thinking on this. Candor and honesty here is Trump he's not a conservative, he's a populist. And if you study populist movements, they're all tied to charismatic people. There's a great local example where I am in Georgia of Zell Miller. Zell Miller was a populist Democrat who rallied to a lot of ideas that got bipartisan support, a state lottery to pay for scholarships for education, things like that. And when Zell Miller went away, that populism disappeared. You got Roy Barnes elected for one term after Zell Miller, and then the whole Democratic Party in Georgia collapsed and the Republicans came in. I think that Donald Trump is a unique personality in American politics. He is a populist, not a conservative, and you're going to see major splits within his populist movement, many of them gravitating to J.D. Vance, but Vance is no Donald Trump. He's a different person, and I don't think things necessarily work out the same way, and not everyone will go to him. He won't command that level of loyalty, and you're going to see that. The people who remain are going to be the conservatives who have maintained their small government principles for quite a long time. You're going to still have the Jim DeMints in Washington on the outside. You're going to have the Chip Roys on the inside. You're going to have the Thomas Masseys and the Ted Cruzes and the Rand Pauls and the Mike Lees, who are still advancing conservatism, even in all of its amalgamations to accommodate Trump's populism. And you may very well revert back to the mean. A lot of people are like, everything has changed after Trump. But when you study populist movements, once populist movements fade away, what tends to happen is everything reverts back to the status quo ante. That is, the what status quo was before the populist movement, and you'll see some revisions there, unless, and this is bad for the GOP, you got to have somebody to be able to hold the non-white voters who have moved into the GOP, and maybe Vance can do that. Maybe there will be some more accommodation and amalgamation to make this happen. We're going to find out. We're going to see. We're going to make it work. It's going to be interesting to see. But in that regard, this gets perfectly, Brad, to what I wanted to talk about. Thanks for the phone call. Look forward to seeing you. And again, if you go to WEEB990.com, if you're up in the Pinehurst area, Sand Hills area of North Carolina, be up there broadcasting and hanging out with listeners next Friday. Be doing my show from up there. Scott Jennings is the CNN personality who has gotten people back into watching CNN just to watch him eviscerate people. Scott Jennings, according to Cameron Arkand at Fox News, is considering running for the Senate. Now, I believe I was the first person to publicly say Scott Jennings should run, and now it's a thing. He was interviewed, told Fox News Digital, quote, "Man, the internet's a crazy place. Long way until next May. I read all those with amusement, but again, it's a long way until next year." He is being encouraged to run in Kentucky for Mitch McConnell's seat. He says Kentucky's benefited from having Republican senators for a long time. The Senate seat ought to be in the hands, ultimately, of someone who's going to help Donald Trump execute the president's agenda. And frankly, I think politics is a team sport. The president's the head of our team, and I think eventually he'll need to weigh in here on who he thinks is best to help him execute his agenda. Now, that's notable because on Tuesday night in Michigan for his 100-day rally, Donald Trump brought Scott Jennings on stage saying, "We have a man here that I don't know, but he's defending me all the time on CNN, and he defends me really well, but he can't go too far because if he goes too far, he'll get fired. I got to get a farm in Michigan because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to get a place to put them all," Jennings joked in response. Back in, when was this? Philip just found this for me. Back at February 26th, I tweeted, "Could I nominate Scott Jennings for the United States Senate from the Commonwealth of Kentucky? He'd be a hell of a Mitch McConnell replacement." He's taking it seriously, waiting for Trump to weigh in on should Jennings run. Now, I wonder if the president would prefer him to stay on CNN defending him. Jennings, though, I think would be a fantastic senator from Kentucky. Mitch McConnell is a legend in that state, and he needs a good replacement. Jennings has worked in the McConnell camp. He is very pro-Trump, as you can see on CNN. He knows the state. He's a political consultant in the state. He's run a lot of candidates statewide in the state, so I think it's probably time for Scott Jennings to step up. And that gets to the larger point here. Candidate quality matters. There are a lot of people who get recruited as candidates who turn out not to be great. There's a situation in the state of Virginia right now. In the state of Virginia, the Republicans have nominated a man for lieutenant governor there, and his name is John Reed. John Reed is a gay Republican and is now involved in scandal related to, his internet proclivities, it seems. He's things he's liked online, pornography and things like that. It's a lot of dirt now being thrown out about this guy. The governor in Virginia has urged him to get out of the race given the situation, and he's not exactly willing to do that. He's denying some of the accusations, and now it's a drip, 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 drip of things uncovered in this guy's internet feed, which lasts forever, and it's deeply problematic that it looks like you could have a gay pornography scandal for the GOP in Virginia because, candidate quality matters. And once nominated, you don't have to surrender the nomination. It's going to be a problem for the GOP. Candidate quality matters. The Democrats are having this problem, too. And you know what's so funny on the Democratic side is on the Democratic side, it is the moderate Democrats are running as populist progressives. And there's a real fear among progressive Democrats that they're going to be wiped out by moderates in primaries and all these open seats. And that the moderates are going to get in and disappoint the progressives. And the moderates have kind of figured out and learned a lesson from Republicans. And let's be real honest here. There are a lot of Republicans who run for office these days, and they claim to be MAGA. And they understand something about MAGA, and I suspect this is why the MAGA guys get so sensitive when I criticize Donald Trump, is they haven't been in politics for a long time. Many of the people, and this is not, I'm sure they're going to find a way to be insulted, because this is the other thing I've learned is a lot of people want to be insulted these days, and I don't mean it insultingly at all, but a lot of people who are involved and invested in the MAGA movement and Donald Trump have not been in politics for a very long time. And so they have not yet built up the discernment skill on who's the politician who's fooling you. And what happens is a lot of people get elected these days around the country claiming to be MAGA, and they get into office and they turn out not to be MAGA. And the Trump supporters are like, what the heck, dude? You were one of us. You know, in Washington, Josh Hawley, who this is not me criticizing Josh Hawley. Don't take it as me criticizing Josh Hawley from Missouri. I actually like Josh Hawley a great deal and know a number of people who've worked with Josh. But Josh, I remember, ran as a Club for Growth guy. Very first time I met him was at a Club for Growth meeting, and now Josh is running full-on populist with a lot of like old school Democrat ideas on unions and labor and things like that. And his Republican colleagues, a lot of them grumble about Josh Hawley. They feel like he's a political opportunist as opposed to he's changed his mind, he's headed in a different track. And they're like, well, you were a Club for Growth guy, and now the Club for Growth hates your guts. You're what are you? That's the way MAGA feels about a lot of people who get elected because they haven't built up the discernment skills. Now, Josh, I think, is just he's charted a new course for himself. He's probably more in line with where Missouri is than where he was originally. But some of his Senate Republican colleagues grumble about it. With MAGA, they grumble about some of these guys who get in office, who they take the MAGA line on the campaign trail, they get in office, they got some time before their next election, and they betray them. Candidate quality matters. It's why I like a guy like Scott Jennings. He's on TV every night. You know where he stands. It's why I like a guy like Chip Roy. Chip Roy is no different than he was 20 years ago when he was behind the scenes and not actually elected. They're consistent. You can tell what they're going to do. You can tell what their principles are, what their values are, and they're consistent with the small government approach. Candidate quality matters. As more and more seats open on the left and the right, you're going to have people who play to the base who then betray the base. They're going to sound like they walk the walk, but all they do is talk. This is going to be a problem as we move forward in politics, and the Republicans, particularly the supporters of the president, are really going to need to continue to refine their discernment skills as politicians come forward and suggest they are something they actually are not. And the Democrats and the Republicans in the wild time we've got right now are both having to learn this. But I can tell you, he's been on TV now for 4 or 5 years, Scott Jennings. He's been pretty consistent that entire time. You want a replacement in Kentucky for Mitch McConnell, who's going to be more friendly to Donald Trump than Mitch McConnell, but also a committed, conservative, partisan team player? Scott Jennings for the United States Senate. That guy needs to run for the Senate. Now, I need to tell you about Swiss America, because with all the topsy-turviness out there right now, with gold prices up, the economy shrinking, inflation, tariffs, Swiss America has been the trusted leader in precious metals for 40 years, and they've been warning people about the secret war on cash. If you're interested in safeguarding your hard-earned cash from this war, you need to get their free report, the Rated A Plus by the Better Business Bureau. Swiss America can educate you on protecting your assets. The report, kind of wild to read, takes less than 15 minutes, can save on your retirement finances, essentially talking about how the government's trying to steer your spending habits and control your currency. It applies to digital currency as well. They're coming for your crypto. Get the report by calling or texting 800-289-2646. Now, here's the thing. Just mention my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K. You can text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646. You'll get a link back. Click the link, put in your info. They'll send you the report. It takes less than 15 minutes to read. It's completely free. It's eye-opening. Swiss America wants to help you protect your retirement finances. 800-289-2646. That's 800-289-2646. Call them, tell them I sent you. Text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way.
150 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. If you're traveling on I-20 eastbound into DeKalb County, seen a few brake lights leaving 285 out toward Panola Road, exit 71, where they've been clearing construction from the right lane there in DeKalb. Elsewhere, 316 westbound, we've had left lane construction in Lawrenceville, passing Decula Highway. I believe that has since wrapped up. And crash investigation continues in Canton. Highway 20, Knoxbridge Highway is shut down just west of Butterworth Road, west of I-575. Plan your alternates there. Traffic brought to you by Dairy Queen. Get a big summer flavor in every bite with the new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu featuring new mixing bowl mashup, s'mores, and more. Available now. DQ, happy tastes good at participating locations. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
All
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
There's a new optimism in the air, and we think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects. Now we need partners like you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Attention antique lovers, this weekend it's the Lakewood 400 Antique Market, located north of Atlanta on Georgia Highway 9, 2 miles south of Cumming. Visit their website at lakewoodantiques.com for more information. This weekend, don't miss the Lakewood 400 Antique Market.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Bugs bugging you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Taking the complicated and making it simple. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425 should you wish to be on the program. Delighted to have you guys with me. I gotta just wow. I'm a little bit flummoxed by this. So let me just explain. I'm going to leave the guy's name out of it. This is a maladjusted person, I think. Has in his Twitter bio the gay pride flag, a globe, and the Ukraine flag. Commenting on the story, a Nebraska teen gave birth and then slit her newborn's throat. She gave birth to the kid, then slit his throat, and killed him. She's going to spend 35 years behind bars. And this guy responds, and he says, our harsh treatment of those who kill their own newborns is utterly indefensible. If she had killed it a few months earlier, we wouldn't have condemned it. Instead, we're now going to give a sentence greater than those who shoot others. Why? Will she refund? Will this deter? I think a well-adjusted person would conclude that maybe abortion is wrong and is infanticide, as opposed to, we shouldn't punish people for infanticide. This is the weird morality of some people out there, and they put it on public display on social media. This girl is going to spend 35 years behind bars because she gave birth to her son and then murdered her son. Probably should spend time behind bars for murder. Just wild anyone would defend her. But yet, here we are. People on the internet will defend anything. We live in a fallen world, and all that fallenness is on display on social media. Now, guys, I want to spend an extra little bit here, more than I probably should, but it's just because it's actually awesome. If you go to omahasteaks.com/smash right now, SMASH, they've got a grill package for you. And in the grill package, you're going to get a lot of great stuff, but you're going to get 16 free smash burgers. omahasteaks.com/smash, SMASH. And it is it's the built for the grill pack. Let me tell you what you get. You're going to get butcher cut fillets, butcher cut top sirloins, boneless chicken breasts, filet mignon burgers, gourmet jumbo franks, the caramel apple tartlets, and you're going to get 16 free smash burgers. You can do them on a griddle, you can do them on a grill, you can do them in a skillet, and they're incredible. You know, the smash burgers are kind of the flat patties that get crispy on both sides, and they're incredible. You can get them for free, 16 of them for free at Omaha Steaks. And again, all you do is you go to omahasteaks.com/smash, and you'll get these 16 free smash burgers. I have used them on. I got one of those Weber griddles, so much better than the other brand. And I did these the other day. They're fantastic, and they get the char, the crispy char on both sides. Oh my gosh, they're delicious. They make it so easy for Omaha Steaks. You can use a grill. You don't have to have a griddle. You can use a skillet. You get 16 of them completely free from Omaha Steaks. omahasteaks.com/smash. And I mean, they've been doing this since 1970. They know what they're doing, and these are incredible. I'm a big believer in the smash burgers from omahasteaks.com.
Hey, folks, it's Shelley Winter here. You know, sometimes they make fun of me around the office because I doze off at my desk while doing show prep. Well, you know why that happened? It's because of a lack of sleep. I have sleep apnea. So if you snore or have sleep apnea also, you're not living life to the fullest. So listen up. I know you're tired, but in all seriousness, this is important. My friends over at Palmetto Sleep are changing lives with a custom-fit oral appliance that stops your snoring and treats sleep apnea. I'm not talking about something you buy out of a supermarket. This is a custom-made for your mouth and covered by your private medical insurance. What I love most is that they do everything, from the diagnosis to the delivery of the oral appliance and everything in between. They even provide a take-home sleep study and virtual consults. If you're ready for a great night's sleep, you are ready for Palmetto Sleep. Go to palmettosleep.com. That's palmettosleep.com right now. Don't suffer from another sleepless night. palmettosleep.com.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. Georgia's civil rights groups blasting the first 100 days of the new Trump administration. Here's a report all new at 2 o'clock.
Standing on the steps of Big Bethel AME, the oldest black church in Atlanta, Southern Poverty Law Center President Margaret Huang says the past 100 days have been about chaos, cruelty, cuts, and consequences.
From the first day President Trump took office, he and his inner circle have taken a wrecking ball to the agencies and services that are lifelines for millions of people.
In a speech Tuesday, Trump says he's had the most successful first 100 days of any administration. On Auburn Avenue, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
82 degrees in Atlanta. Only isolated showers possible the next few days. Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. A new Atlanta Journal-Constitution poll suggests many Georgia voters are worried about the future of the country after the president's first 100 days. AJC political reporter Greg Bluestein says tariffs are the main reason why.
2/3 of Georgia voters say that the tariffs are either having a small or major effect on their household budget.
The poll shows the president's approval rating at 43% in Georgia. A new report shows the U.S. economy slowing in the first quarter of the year. President Trump blames the previous administration.
That's Biden. That's not Trump, because we came in on January, this is quarterly numbers.
Many analysts worry tariffs and worries about them will slow down the U.S. economy. Following a prank phone call at the NFL draft, the Falcons are fined $250,000 by the league today. The son of Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich got the phone number for Shedeur Sanders off his father's open iPad and later called Sanders, pretending to be the general manager of the Saints. In addition to the team fine, Ulbrich is slapped with a $100,000 fine. Gwinnett County Police are searching for a suspect after a woman is found dead in Snellville. Corporal Ryan Winterweedle says a child inside the home on Hillsborough Drive called 911.
When officers arrived, they located a female deceased inside the home, and they were informed that the suspect had just fled on foot.
Police identify the victim as 35-year-old Tiffany Trim. The woman and her accused killer knew each other. The children inside the home are not related to either of them. If you're thinking of running in the AJC Peachtree Road Race this year, today is the last day to register. It closes at 11:59 tonight. More than 50,000 will take part in the 10K race on the 4th of July. It is now 2:02, and this news is sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids. And talk about the old days, when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
It is 2:05, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. In the 24-hour traffic center, it's Alex Williams.
New travel advisory heading up toward Marietta, 75 northbound Delk Road, exit 261 crash. Now 3 right lanes are blocked with this crash on 75 north of Delk. That's quickly going to slow back toward I-285, so go ahead and think about Highway 41, Cobb Parkway. The express lanes with the Peach Pass will get you around that. Continuing to watch volume pick up into downtown, heading south from the 85-400 merge toward North Avenue. And you're seeing brake lights in the cab, I-20 eastbound passing Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. Had earlier construction there. We're going to see if maybe a crash has happened in that backup, adding to the volume. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. High 83 with a stray pop-up shower possible this afternoon.
It's 83 in Norcross, 81 in Hiram, and 82 in Union City. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
It's the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. This hour's keyword is lazy. L-A-Z-Y. Go to the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is lazy. L-A-Z-Y. Join me live at 3 for the Von Hessler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5.
Hello, welcome. Terry Erickson here. The phone number, 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, if you text the word data to 33777, you can subscribe to the show notes, all the stack stuff of all the stuff I talk about, except this because it's breaking news. It has just hit the wires. Did you see the crazy interview with CBS and Bill Belichick where his girlfriend, Jordan, interrupts the conversation when they ask how they met? So this is a statement from Bill Belichick. I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning: Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist at Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony Kopel, and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate the point to help refocus the discussion. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply doing her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips make it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we've been open about the fact Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. The final 8-minute segment does not reflect the productive 35-minute conversation we had, which covered a wide range of topics related to my career. Instead, it presents selectively edited clips and stills from just a few minutes of the interview to suggest a false narrative that Jordan was attempting to control the conversation, which is simply not true. Did Jordan write the statement? I don't know. It really was wild. Like, I saw Peter Burns at ESPN and several others, like, he looks like he's a hostage. It was a wild Wild interview. It's you know, a coach's press conference and a sit down interview are very different things. It just what a weird interview it was. Did not do any favors to Bill Belichick. Made him look like seriously, made it look like it was almost a hostage situation with him and his girlfriend. I don't know. It is weird. Can I just say, it's just I find it weird all around when you have an old guy dating someone that young. I'm like, can you not act your age? I mean, God bless him, I guess, but I just know. Like if something were to happen to my wife, and I have already told my friends, like if I wind up with like a 20-something and I'm in my 60s, 70s, or 80s, shoot me. There's clearly something not right in my head there. I just nope. Nope. God bless you if that's your thing, I guess. Who am I to judge? But that's just odd to me. I know a guy who says that he's learning at his age that women have daddy issues, but they don't have granddaddy issues as he's gotten older. He's single. I don't know about that. I better move on before I say something I regret. Now, what is it? Is it Ginter Drummond? What's his name? The Attorney General. You people in Oklahoma, Gintner Drummond, trial lawyer. He's a moderate Republican. Has become the Attorney General of Oklahoma. And the Republicans in Oklahoma, the governor, Ryan Waters, the education superintendent, and the Catholic Church, the state charter school commission, they have agreed that the Catholic Church should be allowed to operate a virtual charter school. The Attorney General, Gintner Drummond, who is related to the Drummond family out there, Ree Drummond, the pioneer woman, her family, he's related to that family. They're big ranchers out there, great businessmen, own a lot of land. A lot of your beef comes from this wonderful family, and he's one of them, and he's politically connected, and he's the Attorney General, and he's running for governor, and I'm wondering if he's sabotaging his gubernatorial campaign by opposing. He's like the only Republican in the state of Oklahoma who opposes a charter school for Catholics. Here's something I want you to know about charter schools. If you want to start a charter school tomorrow that is alphabet gang friendly, you're going to invite kids who are the L's, the G's, the B's, the T's, the Q's, the I's, the A's, the T's, the T's, the P's, the I's, the A's, all the alphabet members. And you're going to call yourself the Allyship Charter School. And you're going to make it clear that this is going to be a safe space for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, curious, pansexual, two-spirit, whatever the letter choice is, kids. Well, you're going to be welcomed with open arms by the left and by the rules of society. Even though much of it is by faith and religious. Let's be real clear here. Transgenderism is a religious issue. It is by faith you believe that a boy can become a girl. It is by faith, not science, that a girl can become a boy. It is by faith and a lot of medicine and surgeries to make it happen. It is by faith. It is religious. The two-spirit nonsense comes from Native American religion. But you put a school together that allows that, and no one's going to say, well, this is a violation of the Establishment Clause, even though it's a religious issue. But along comes the Catholic Church in Oklahoma. And the Catholic Church wants to start a charter school. By the way, it's a virtual school. St. Isidore of Seville Catholic Virtual School. It would operate online throughout the state of Oklahoma and would be allowed to promote the Catholic faith in the charter school. You don't have to send your kids there if you don't want to. But some families may choose to send their kids to a charter school that is Catholic oriented. In the same way, some parents may choose to send their kids to an alphabet gang oriented charter school. The alphabet gang oriented charter school, no one's going to stand up other than religious people and say this isn't right, and the Supreme Court and everyone else is going to say, God bless you, go forth. This is a secular thing, even though it's by faith. But the Catholics come along and they're like, you can't do this. It's religious. Separation of church and state. Why can't they? The argument from the Attorney General in Oklahoma, Gentner Drummond, is that this is a state-created institution. And because the charter school is a state-created institution, separation of church and state matters. No, it's not. The Catholics are creating it. You're just giving license to the Catholic Church to be able to operate it and allow children from across the state to go to school there. It's a charter school. The Supreme Court jurisprudence on religion in this country has been wrong for a very long time, and they're finally shifting in the right direction. See, here's the thing. The Supreme Court back in the day, when they decided that the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause needed to be interpreted as the default is secularism, not sectarianism. Sectarianism is religion. Secularism is no religion. But what happens is secularism is now religious. You can say you're an atheist, but every atheist worships something. It is by faith you believe there is no God. It is by faith you believe in a Big Bang, but can't answer what came before it, and I as a Christian can. It is by faith you believe that a girl can become a boy or a boy can become a girl. It's by faith belief. You may not like me saying it. You may have rationalized your way into pretending it's not, but it's a religious belief. Secularism is a religious belief. It is a religious choice. It is a religious default. And the Supreme Court years ago made the mistake of saying secularism is the default for the United States. What it should be is the government's got to get out of the way. The government can't choose between secularism and sectarianism, but must treat them all equally. And the Supreme Court has been headed in that direction for quite a while now, and that's the right direction. The government should not be able to say, given a secular institution and a religious institution, we've got to default to the secular institution because you've made a religious choice. And what does the First Amendment actually say? The government shall not have a religion, shall not pick a favored religion. And you are freely allowed to exercise your religion. But what the government is telling you to do is you're not allowed to exercise your religion. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The state of Oklahoma is not establishing Catholicism as a religion by allowing the Catholic Church to compete with the LGBTQIA charter school. They're just allowing the Catholic institution and the secular institution to compete on a level playing field. That should be the jurisprudence. That seems to be where the court is headed, despite what Gentner Drummond, the Attorney General of Oklahoma, wants. He does not want the Catholics to be able to have a charter school in Oklahoma. The conservatives on the Supreme Court seem to disagree. Lawyers for St. Isidore who are defending the proposal say that if you're barring religious institutions from applying to run religious schools, you're running afoul of the Free Exercise Clause. The Archdiocese of Oklahoma City and the Diocese of Tulsa have proposed this school. It would allow kids who want to go to a public charter school that takes state taxpayer funds to be able to go. It's your choice to be able to go. Brett Kavanaugh, in the hearing, said this: our cases have made very clear. Those are some of the most important cases we've had, saying you can't treat religious people, religious institutions, and religious speech as second class in the United States when you have a program that's open to all comers. To prohibit religious schools from participating in the charter school program would be rank discrimination. Fellow conservative Justice Samuel Alito took issue with some of the statements made by Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond, who challenged the decision to approve the school and was sitting in the courtroom. Alito mentioned that Drummond had said that a ruling for St. Isidore would pave the way for Islamic schools, which he characterized as evidence of hostility towards particular religions. John Roberts was more measured than some of his conservative colleagues, asking skeptical questions of both sides. But in one exchange, he seemed to think the case echoed a 2021 ruling in which the Supreme Court ruled in favor of a Catholic group that was barred from participating in Philadelphia's foster care program because its religious views because of its religious views, opposing same-sex marriage. How is this different from what we have here? He asked. The three liberals were obviously super skeptical of the school. Sonia Sotomayor expressing concerns about the future of the Establishment Clause. You should know that Sonia Sotomayor is the most ruthlessly hostile member of the court to religion. Even Ruth Bader Ginsburg was not as hostile. Now, Amy Coney Barrett had to recuse herself. She had to recuse herself because the organizer of the school is her best friend. Y'all, I do have to wonder if the Attorney General of Oklahoma, Gentner Drummond, is sabotaging his career. He's running for governor. The great governor of Oklahoma is term limited, so Drummond is running for governor. He's got a lot of money to be able to fund his campaign, but I'm not sure that opposing the Catholic Church's ability to operate a charter school, you don't have to send your kid to the charter school. But if the families wanted to open a charter school that was gay friendly, the state would fund it, and Attorney General Drummond wouldn't oppose it. But because it's the Catholics, they're like, no, we can't do that one. What a weird hill to die on, to deny the Catholic Church the ability to open a charter school. I don't understand. I mean, he doesn't want state money funding a religious institution, but I mean, there are plenty of institutions that are deeply religious that just aren't Catholics, Christians, Islam. The Alphabet Gang is a deeply religious, by faith institution, and that gets funded. The government should not say that we have to default to secularism and can't support sectarianism. It should say we can't pick and choose between the two. If the one gets to do it, the other gets to do it. That seems to be where the court is headed. I hope that's where they head. I just think it's wild that the Republicans in Oklahoma, the Charter School Commission, the Catholic Church, they all want to allow the Catholic Church to operate this virtual school for Catholics in the state and anyone who wants to come in and participate. At no charge, it provides a competitive option against public schools, and it's just the Attorney General, who is a Republican, say, no, this is a violation of church and state. I just fundamentally disagree with him. I think this hostility to religion is bad, and in fact, I would support it if Muslims wanted to start a charter school and you're going to do that, let them. You don't have to send your kid there, but we shouldn't default to, no, religious institutions can't play in this field. We should allow everybody to play. Let 1,000 flowers bloom, so to speak, not to quote Mao, but quoting Mao, let 1,000 flowers bloom. And see which works best. I can't imagine Republicans would oppose this, and yet here's one who is.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
221 Coldway Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Travel advisory is going to continue into Marietta. Crash, 3 right lanes are blocked. 75 northbound Delk Road, exit number 261. Already jammed up back to 285. Also starting to impact those 285 ramps there. 2 I-75 north. Avoid it all. Use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway. You got a Peach Pass. You can use the express lanes. Elsewhere, if you're traveling I-20 eastbound into Cobb County, still on and off the brakes, leaving I-285 out toward Panola Road, exit 71. You're getting through the work zone there. And in Gwinnett County, you're jammed up on Highway 29 in both directions. That's Lawrenceville Highway at Huff Road, or Huff Drive, construction in both directions. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It's the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. This hour's keyword is lazy. L-A-Z-Y. Go to the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is lazy. L-A-Z-Y. Join me live at 3 for the Von Haessler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So We ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-ray, or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
If you've been in a motorcycle accident, move swiftly to protect your rights. It's Eric Von Hessler, and I recommend Steel Horse Law, motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. They're 100% local, the only firm that's a major part of the North Georgia motorcycle community. At your next local bike night, ride, or charity event, stop by their booth and say hello. Steel Horse Law can help you get back on your feet, medical bills paid, back to work, and your case resolved. Request a free Rider's Advantage card at steelhorselaw.com.
We were ready to sell, but I got so overwhelmed with everything that needed to be done. Accepting the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate shortened my to-do list.
Hi, this is Mark Spain. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and receive the strongest cash offer in the industry. With our guaranteed offer, there are no showings, no open houses, and no stress.
And the value of getting all of my time back that I would have spent on home repairs, priceless.
Go to markspain.com to receive a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Call Eric now at 877-973-7425.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. Spencer is up next. Welcome to the show. Spencer, how are you?
Good. Nice to talk to you, Eric. I listen to your show about every day. Doing a good job.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you a question. I heard something the other day. I think I was listening to the Chad Benson show, and I played a clip of something that Judge Napolitano, who I'm sure you're familiar with, said. And he said something that just blew me away. Said two things. The first thing that he said was he was breaking down what happened with this Wisconsin judge who got arrested, and he was saying that he basically didn't see any problem with it other than the fact that they're prosecuting her because, as he put it, judges have the discrepancy to have anybody leave their courtroom out of whatever exit they choose. And he just put it as simply as that. And then he went further to say that what he thought this administration was doing was, as he put it, a jihad against judges. I don't know if you had heard that.
You know, I saw that clip. In fact, I had it in my stacks, and I'm sorry, but Napolitano is flat out wrong here. Here's what happened, and is undisputed in the record, is the judge was told that federal agents were there to arrest that illegal alien. She walked the federal agents down to the chief judge's office after essentially getting the chief judge to meet with them, ran back to her courtroom while the federal agents were there to talk to the chief judge, and got the man out of the back door of her courtroom where people don't go. The jury goes, the sheriff goes. So, yeah, I mean, she intentionally helped the guy escape, telling him federal agents were there to detain him. So I mean, they've now suspended her. The Supreme Court of Wisconsin has, and they're liberals. So, no, she should be arrested and jailed. Now, I got to tell you guys about Vision Computer. Vision would love to do business with you. They can build your computer. Let me reiterate this because we had this problem in our house the other night. My son had an antivirus program on his computer, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it, and it went wonky, and it was blocking him from every website on the planet. Could not get into my website, couldn't get into Google, couldn't get into Fox News, couldn't get anywhere. And I couldn't figure it out. And so it was like 9:30 at night. He emailed Vision Computer. His phone started ringing. He assumed it was a spam call, and it wasn't. It was Vision. They had him fixed within 5 minutes, sat him down at his computer, told him, click here. Is this set? Figured it out. An award-winning customer service. It's incredible to me. You can get that with your computer. You can just pay for the customer service. You don't even have to buy a computer from them. $179 a year per computer for your business, for your home. Peace of mind. They do such a good job. 404-COMPUTE's the number. Anybody nationwide, take advantage of it. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. If you tell them Eric sent you, you'll save more money. 404-COMPUTE.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. The Falcons face a stiff fine from the NFL for the prank phone call made to Shedeur Sanders.
Sanders was sliding down the draft board last weekend when he got a phone call.
Hey, is this Shedeur?
The caller claimed he was the general manager of the New Orleans Saints and told Sanders they were about to draft him, then said he'd have to wait longer and hung up. The caller was actually Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbricht's son, who found Sanders' phone number on his father's open iPad.
CBS's Michael Wallace reports the Falcons are fined $250,000 and Ulbricht $100,000. The FBI investigating after a drug enforcement agent opens fire on a man and woman in northwest Georgia. Calhoun police say the drug agent was attempting to stop a vehicle on Outlet Center Drive when the driver tried to hit the agent head on. The agent opened fire, hitting a man and a woman who were inside the vehicle. No officers are injured. The FBI is now investigating. Local civil rights groups speak out against President Trump's first 100 days in office.
That's a hallmark of this administration in its first 100 days. Chaos, cruelty, and constitutional crisis.
ACLU of Georgia Executive Director Andrea Young says they're filing legal challenges around the country. In a speech Tuesday, Trump said he's had the most successful first 100 days of any administration in the history of our country. When asked about the recent stock market volatility, President Trump says he inherited a mess from the Biden administration. The president says he's not taking credit for the Dow's good or bad performances and is only focused on turning around the U.S. economy. Stocks are lower today after a new report shows the U.S. economy slowed in the first quarter. It is now 2:32. This news is sponsored by FGA Roofing.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
Hey, small business owners, I want you to listen up. Wouldn't it be great to be able to pick up a walkie-talkie, simply push a button, and start talking to your staff wherever they are nationwide? Now, up to 200 units on one feed. They have their nationwide LTE coverage, and they're 100% private. For a limited time, just go to rapidradios.com. You'll get 60% off. You get free UPS shipping from Michigan. You add the promo code radio25. You get an extra $25 off and a free EMP protection bag.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
404-793-0000. 1 Glen Lake Parkway Northeast, Atlanta.
At 2:34, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Travel advisory continues up into Marietta with this bad crash involving at least one tractor trailer. 75 northbound Delk Road, exit 261. 3 right lanes are blocked, jam from 285. 285 west now slowing out of Sandy Springs. Northbound delays through Smyrna Vinings. Avoid it all. Use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway or the express lanes as your alternate to avoid this jam, also causing southbound onlooker delays. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Partly cloudy, warm, and humid with pop-up showers the next couple of days. Right now, 81 in Mableton, 84 in Conyers, and 81 in Decatur. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
He's got the courage to tell you the truth, because the truth is what matters. You're listening to The Erick Erickson Show.
Hello and welcome. It is Erick Erickson here. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Let's go to Bridgeport, Connecticut. Valerie is listening up in Bridgeport. Welcome to the show, Valerie. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thanks for calling. What's going on?
I am a licensed real estate broker, a licensed mortgage loan officer, and also insurance. And you made a comment, I believe it was last week, regarding why there are down payment assistance programs specifically for African Americans. And I wanted to shed some light on that, please.
Okay, sure. I think, by the way, it was one of my guest hosts, not me, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, the reason why there usually has a result of a lawsuit for a particular bank that has already been penalized for racial discrimination against African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And so these programs have been out. My husband actually does some other programs. They've been out for probably now, 7, 8 years. And they were out without that caveat of African Americans being the sole, grantees of it. And other nationalities were getting the money. So the only way they could get it towards African Americans was to actually say, this is for African Americans. I remember my husband had the money. He was giving out $15,000, and one ethnic group got a hold of it and passed it on to their friends, and then they all got the money. So they saw that, and they decided, look, we need to specifically say this is for African Americans, because money has been given out for years now. But it normally has a consequence of an entity being proven guilty of some form of racial discrimination in lending,
right,
and has their penalty. They have to come up with down payment assistance money. So that's
and,
why.
you know, it's worth clarifying on the story because I know the story you're talking about, but I do think it was one of my guest hosts who brought it up. But so yeah, I am actually I used to, as a lawyer, represented Bank of America and familiar with the situation. Oh yeah. Look, I got a great rate on my mortgage since I represented them for a time. But at the same time, yeah, for people who don't understand, you wonder these programs like, how can this be constitutional? And they are specifically, they're not constitutional generally because you can't favor one race over another in lending. However, as part of a court judgment, because the particular bank has been shown to be discriminating, they do become legal. And that's something I think a lot of people have missed in the conversation, that you can't go, Congress can't pass a law really anymore because of the Supreme Court decisions and say you have to give certain lending opportunities to black Americans that nobody else gets. That would be discrimination. You can't do it. But if your bank has been discriminating against black Americans, Hispanic Americans, you name it, yeah, that bank, as part of its restitution, repayment, and redemption, does have to participate in a program when it is shown that it has been willfully discriminating against Americans of a particular race. And that is perfectly constitutional.
Yeah, that's what was going on. I thought it was your program, but he didn't.
No. I do think it was because I was actually, you know how I know that it wasn't me and it had to be one of my guests, because I was on a plane out west and was reading the story in the Wall Street Journal. And I know they're trying about it. It's like, so it can't, but yeah, so I'm glad to be here and address it. And Valerie, thank you for listening and calling in about it, because it is not I did not represent the bank. It is a local bank. I'm not going to name the bank. I think the bank has put this all behind them, but there is a bank very near me that would not give loans to black families. Would not. And it didn't matter how much money the couple had. And they got busted because a small businessman in my community who is black was denied a loan. And so his friend who is white went in and applied for the same loan, used the black man's data for the credit reporting and everything, and got the loan. And they were sued. And their settlement is they had to set aside specific funds to help black families because it was proven they had been discriminating for a long time. And it didn't matter how good your credit was, didn't matter what your business was, didn't matter how much money you had. If you were black, you weren't going to get the loan. And this was in like the 1990s. This was not the 1960s, not the 1940s. This was the 1990s. And that bank has basically purged every single person who was there, has been reformed. It's a great bank, active in the community and everything. But yeah, they were required to do that. So yes, you got to be careful sometimes with these stories that incite people. Now, I'm going to pivot. Valerie, thank you for calling. I want to play you some audio here. I want to play you. I'm not going to tell you what this is. You'll pick up on it. This is a man speaking. Just listen.
What were our troops doing in a foreign country that never attacked us, huh? What were they doing over there? Invading a foreign country. I don't believe in that.
Amen. Amen. You don't believe in 9/11?
Who here believes the official version on 9/11? Look around. Look around the room. Are you looking around? Look around.
Wake up.
Who believes the official story on 9/11? Okay, who believes 9/11 was an inside job?
Yes.
Look around. Now, you told us before the service that God led you here. Maybe this is what God wanted you to find out, that 9/11 is a fraud, and that our country actually has the satanic world government located in New York. It's called the United Nations. And our country is taking over the whole world for Satan and Israel.
Now, I'm going to go through because he, says a lot of things that I don't really want to get to, but let me just end on this. And again, this is just listen.
If you want to promote a pro-war position, I mean, you're in the wrong place. I mean, nobody here wants to hear it.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Honestly, and look, I love you, my brother, and I'm sorry that the sermon is offending you, but honestly, this is where I stand, and this is where our church stands, because of the fact that, being a sniper and say, well, you saved lives. You know what else saved lives? You know what else saved American lives? Nuking Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That saved American lives, right? Because then we didn't have to. Yeah, and it also murdered and massacred hundreds of thousands of women and children, and that is a sin.
That's a church. That's a sermon at a church, an independent Baptist church. And you know what's so interesting is that someone put that up and said, "This is my kind of church." If you want to see it, follow me on Twitter. You can text Eric to 33777. Follow me on Twitter. You'll see it in my feed. It's a retweet from James Wood, and it was put up by a girl who said, "This is my kind of church," until someone replied and said, "That pastor also promotes race mixing." She's like, "I had no idea." That's a sermon. That's a sermon at a church. That church is a pro-Trump church. It's not a progressive church. That pastor also said that he believed the United States was fighting a war not just to advance the military-industrial complex, but to impose homosexuality in the Middle East. That the soldiers were told that the Muslims kill gay people, and we got to go stop them because we want a nation of homosexuals in the Middle East. That's the pastor. Now, he used the F word. I'm not. I bet you it's small church. But y'all, my gosh, where is the word in that church? There are a lot of people who are going to churches on the left and the right these days who they're not actually going to a church to learn about their faith or strengthen their faith. They're going for like talk radio sermons. Now look, you know, I went to seminary because I got asked to preach on Sundays, and then when these churches that were inviting me to preach found out where I was going to, a Reformed seminary, they're like, no, we don't want it. They not into Calvinism, sorry. But I don't get many options to stand in a pulpit on a Sunday and fill in for pastor, but I get it because I don't want the talk radio sermon, and so why should I expect a church to want the talk radio show host to fill in for the pastor on a Sunday? I totally get it. It doesn't offend me. I relish the opportunities I get because this is, to me, easy. I can talk for 3 hours, no script, but a church on Sunday, I mean, you're going to go to hell if you lead the congregation astray. The Presbyterian Church USA is the liberal Presbyterian denomination. They have decided to stop funding missionaries around the world. Now, part of it is finance, to be honest with you. They don't have the money. The church is dying. But do you know why their publicly stated reason for ending missionaries around the world, why they've stopped funding it? Colonialism. Colonialism is bad. So they're going to stop funding missionaries. There's no difference between that sermon I just played you from a fundamentalist independent Baptist than from the PCUSA. They've allowed their politics to shape their faith instead of letting their faith shape their politics. This is happening more and more. Happening way more. Kevin DeYoung is a great PCA pastor in North Carolina. He's getting attacked for writing that pastors need to keep the politics out of the pulpit. They need to focus on the word. And yeah, I think he's right. Now, I do think there are times and places for pastors to speak up. Like, for example, in Colorado, there is legislation pending in the Colorado legislature where essentially if your child decides your child is trans and the parents disagree with the child and seek help for the child, the state can take the child away and the parents can be punished. I think pastors have an obligation to speak up on legislation like that. But turning your sermons into just political monologues, that's my job. It's not your job in church. Your job is to lead people to God. And I believe fundamentally that part of my job is to glorify God in everything I do. But my gosh, if you're going to a church where your pastor is railing on war and spreading 9/11 conspiracies and stuff, you're in a cult. You're not really in a church. Your pastor's leading you astray. Same with the church, where if you can't fund missionaries when you were given a specific command by Christ to go forth, preach, teach, and baptize, send missionaries out into the world to share the gospel, and your church up, that's colonialism. We can't do that. You need to go find yourself a better church. There are so many churches that are good out there, but so many churches that have just gone off the rails into the world. Worldliness in the church speaking to the contemporary politics of the day. Like, where was the gospel in that message from that pastor? Where was the gospel message? Where was the scriptural quote? Where was the Bible passage it was based on? Wild stuff that's happening in American Christendom. And the church itself is expanding globally, and people of faith in this country are still actually more happy. They're more engaged in society. They're more likely to give to charity. They're more plugged into their communities. They're more likely to be friendly to their neighbors. They're less isolated, all these sorts of things. But then you get people like this, and goodness gracious, that's demented stuff. If that sounds like your pastor, you may need to find a new church. If you're in a church that refuses to help missionaries because they think it's colonialism, you need to find a new church. There are too many people who have allowed the politics of the age to twist their faith as opposed to letting their faith make straight their politics. And, if you're a believer and you think that your faith lines up exactly with your political party, you're wrong. You're wrong. And if you think that, you have allowed your politics to twist your faith. Because there is no political party in the United States that lines up perfectly with the mandates of Scripture. Neither one does perfectly. And you got to navigate between the parties to find the one that does best for you and your faith. But if you think that your faith and your party are aligned perfectly, you are deluding yourself. And if you're going to a church where your pastor is railing on 9/11 conspiracy theories, he doesn't actually believe in the truth. And you need to leave. Now, go on over to Old Glory Bank, leave your current bank, and get an account with Old Glory Bank. They're my bank. They can be your bank too. OldGloryBank.com. They're such a good bank. You can deposit cash. They're an online bank. I had an online bank account. I was a little bit hesitant to use an online bank, but that bank offered me all sorts of stuff. I was like, all right, I'm going to try it. And then you know what I learned? I couldn't deposit cash at that bank. It was you would know it. It's a big bank. It couldn't deposit cash. And then along comes Old Glory Bank, an online bank, and they figured out how to deposit cash. It was like this. This is what I want. Yes, please, this. And they're great people. They're by conservatives. They're for conservatives. Your bank account is not going to get debanked because you're a conservative. They're good people. And not only that, they take care of law enforcement. If you're a first responder or a veteran, they really take care of you. If you're a business, if you're a conservative business and you're worried about the debanking trends, Old Glory Bank will do business with you, and they'll get to know you and your business. Even though they're an online bank, they'll get very personable with you as a business. They're great. OldGloryBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. If you want to invest in Old Glory Bank, they bypassed Wall Street for Main Street because they don't want the wokes buying up the stock and then forcing them to do things. So they're selling to Main Street. You can go to own.oldglorybank.com and you can invest. I have done this, just full disclosure. I invested in Old Glory Bank. And I want to promote and help this bank be around for a very long time. You can to own.oldglorybank.com. Stock goes up and down. It is not FDIC insured. You should talk to a financial advisor if you have any questions.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Eric.
WSB 24-hour traffic center. Travel advisory continues on I-75 north into Marietta with this crash at Delk Road, exit 261. It's in 3 right lanes. You're jammed up from 285. 285 westbound delays stretch back into Sandy Springs. The northbound inner loop slow through Smyrna Vinings. Use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway or the express lanes with the Peach Pass. Travel advisory number 2 up in Holly Springs. Crash knocking out the left lane both ways. 575 north and southbound near Holly Springs Parkway. Exit 14. Use Highway 5 or Bells Ferry. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop seafood savings at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off sustainable wild-caught fresh halibut fillets with Prime through May 6th while supplies last. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air.
Online.
On the app.
Where you get your news.
Is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Are you serious?
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words. 5 times a day. Every weekday.
OMG. Oh, my goodness.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 5.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
On 95.5 WSB.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. but they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation.
Call 800-838-8614. 800-838-8614. That's 800-838-8614.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back. If you go to EdenPureDeals.com right now and put in ERIC3, ERICK3, you can get 3 Eden Pure thunderstorms. You can save $200, get them for less than $200. Air purifier, filterless. You don't have to pay for a filter subscription. It traps the dust, the pollen, the pet dander, all of that good stuff, and then it kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. And then on top of that, it wipes out all the odors. Odors can't stand up to the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. It's how I use it. It's small. You can hold it in your hand. I keep one in my travel bag. Had one in Las Vegas with me when I was out there this past weekend. I've used it in rental cars. You can plug it up with a USB cord to a USB outlet, or you can plug it up. I've plugged it up to my laptop before to power it. You can plug it into the wall. And it just works. It wipes out odor. So you get one for upstairs, downstairs, your basement, your RV, your travel bag, wherever you need it. Yeah, I keep one in my travel bag. And it just wipes out odors. And it gets rid of dust, pollen, pet dander. You don't have to have a filter subscription. Get them at EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC3, ERICK3, at EdenPureDeals.com. That's Eden, like the Garden of Eden, pure as the driven snow, EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code, again, ERIC3. Now, I want to go to this audio from the president. It just happened at the Oval Office. This is a terrible talking point from the President of the United States.
And there's difficulty because their factories are not doing business. They made $1 trillion with Biden, $1 trillion, even $1.1 trillion with Biden selling us stuff. Much of it we don't need. You know, somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know?
Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30. That's a Bernie Sanders talking point. That's the president needs to get this out of his vocabulary trying to defend his terrorists. Maybe your kid will only have $2 instead of $30. That's socialist. That's socialist rhetoric. The idea that you as an American must give up your standard of living because of terrorists is a bad idea. for him to be saying that's something. Remember, Bernie Sanders is the man who had commented on Americans have too many choices. Americans need less. There shouldn't be 10 brands of bread at the grocery store. There shouldn't be 20 brands of deodorant. You should be able to have less. This is now the president saying, well, instead of $30, you might have only $2 because of the tariffs, but that's okay. No, that is not okay. You are restricting Americans' choice, and that's the problem with the tariffs overall, is you are telling Americans what they should and shouldn't buy, and you're restricting their ability to buy. You are restricting the choice of Americans on where they buy, how much they buy, what they buy. That's government command and control, and that, my friends, is socialism. That's not a good talking point from the president. Please, Mr. President, if you're going to sell your agenda to Americans, don't sell them on, well, you must give up stuff. Because Americans will give up on you before they give up on their stuff and put Democrats back in power, and we cannot afford to have Democrats back in power in this country. That's why the tariffs need to go away.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
I have great news on something that's been bad, ugly for the last 5 years. Car thefts. Car thefts finally started trending down last year significantly.